My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hating. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. Yeah. I'm back home, and guess what the fuck strapped on me? Last chance in it, you can call me business. I'm all up in it, bruh, strictly about my business. Protect my shit like a lamp hole Indian. If you ain't got this, man, I strongly recommend it. Neck on tennis, wrist on tennis. Black Jesus beats with black dreadlocks in it. I came here to win it, I need playing time. You can't stop me, just found me and send me to the line. It's young May Izzo, Hancock Dizzle, and I don't give a fuck about none of you niggas. I gun at you niggas, this ain't time for play. I'm almost off parole and I'll be smoking every day. Approaching with a K, smoking on a J. I go anywhere, I don't give a fuck where you stay, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. Old black Chevy, yeah, that's me. A triple and a motherfucking double OG, nigga. You don't know me, you gotta be drinking. I'm known for cutting heads and leave a nigga sinking. I leave a nigga blinking just for all that blinging. You think the Huck Green will call me the Orange Man? Cause when I get at you, I really get at you. I'm like Vin Diesel, bro, I keep a vendetta. It's always about cheddar. It's never cause you let her, cause I don't wanna anyway. See, I can do better. See, I can do stellar. She love the way I groove. She like the way I cut the sack and still make it move. I'm nothing like that dude. Yeah, I'm something special. I'm known for getting money, so I ain't gotta address you, but not to disrespect you. If you touch my nephew, my niece, or my daughter, or my son, I'm coming at you, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. Key shit, nigga. Nintendo Wii shit, nigga. Let it game on you niggas. Let it cane on you niggas. We'll bang on you niggas. Let it rain on you niggas. I'm ashamed of you niggas. And you know I know triggers. You know I know figures. Been in it since a youngin'. Wild out dungeon. Young Paul Bunyan. I came in running. Ain't going out gunning. I always had something I don't owe you nothing, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater. If anything, motherfucker, innovation, nigga. My city gets money. My city gets paper. My city's no hater.
Yeah. So they told me to walk when the beat come on. Niggas love to talk like they on speaker telephone. I've been spinning my wheels, now my tires gone. Yo, bitch watching me drink out this styrofoam. When she talking to me, told her dollar tone. And she said she can't handle the time I'm on. All these hoes getting knocked like they dominoes. Stacking these hundreds gon' need me a lot of those. Freakiest bitches, they be off the Casamigos. Yeah, I'm minding my business, they watching me though. You can't be high as me cause they call it beast mode. That's why all these girls tripping, I wife and these hoes. They gon' drain you up, come back down to the zero. But she sucking me dry like she Team Mosquito. I don't like them and single, need more amigos. When this bitch off the liquor, she mother freak hoe. I gave Brody a key, let him start when he young. All this weed in my system inside of my lungs. I can flow with my wings like a rebel or something. If you think I'm not peeping, I'm just acting dumb. Watch my back for no reason, not trying to get slumped. It's that time of the season to cop you a gun. Fuck the police that's locking up niggas for none. I got family and friends and they still on the run. Let your faucet drip, cause my heart in my freezer on top of shit. Now them niggas can't see me, a chopper bitch. It might be what I'm needing. My Brody be blacking out like he a demon. She said she want kids and I'm out full of semen. Take care of my own, but the kids had to leave him. Do shit when I won't fucking hand, I don't need them. And those are the steps that we take and repeat them. They quit all that yelling, my girl is annoying. A nigga stand next to me, got a little boy in my look in my bank and I like how it's going. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. I hit us some soldiers, I gotta deploy them. I'm still ranking up in this bitch, I'm still loading. She matching the clip, both them bitches is foreign. She not mixed with something, I'm calling her born. I double cup up and I take me a sip. I'm taking the party right back to my whip. I keep me some extras inside of the clip. Shit start to get shicey, then we got a dip. I need plenty relos, just snatch me a zip. Won't catch me from black and miles.
Hey, y'all. How you guys doing tonight? I want to come in and do a quick video. I was on Vertical Live, but I ended that live to come over to StreamYard so I could share my screen a little better and discuss this Sade Robinson case. For those that aren't familiar with the case, it's a young 19-year-old black young girl who was in high school, but she was taking college courses, and she was unalived. Her body parts were found severed throughout Milwaukee, and they have a person of interest. He's in custody on a $5 million bond, and it's just terrible. You know, this young lady was going out looking to go on a date, and she didn't imagine that this date was going to turn deadly for her. So first, before we get any further, I want to just make sure that y'all can hear me okay. And looks like you guys can hear me, but I wanted to play this clip where her mom is basically pleading for his remains to be found. Before we show that one, I'm just going to show this clip where Nancy Grace is discussing the sex dungeons and all that was found in his home. And it's like, what in the world? Sex dungeons? Like I said, I don't know, like, what happened with maybe, where he done this to her. Because clearly he's done this more than once. Like, he's definitely done this before.
Ergo, has he put other victims in the water? See where I'm going with this?
Well, Nancy, I want to go back to what police are sharing, because I wanted to stick to what we know. And there's so much that we are still working to get. But we know that right now, police are just searching for Sade.
I apologize. My video wants to be buffering. I probably should have restarted my stream. Hold on. 9:15. Like, why are you buffering? Like, what's going on?
Robinson in connection
Okay,
to
there.
Maxwell Anderson. But we did learn in a preliminary hearing just a few days ago that the blood that was found inside Maxwell
Yep, she
Anderson's
met him on a dating app, Lisa. You're right. I think
home,
I
they
accidentally paused.
swabbed bedding. They swabbed a wall in the basement.
Is it freezing on y'all? Hold up. Let me close. Shoot, I did not mean to do that. Let me close some of these apps. I apologize. I don't know if I'm pausing or if it's pausing on its own.
We know that that blood was not Sade Robinson's DNA.
So
I don't want to go too far
who
talking
blood in there,
about
y'all?
what else it could be, but we do know that it's not Sade Robinson's blood. And that was a development that came in that preliminary hearing too. But police are only telling us right now, Nancy, that they are looking at Maxwell Anderson and Sade Robinson together. They're not putting any other speculation out there, any other rumors out there either.
Can I just do a lightning round with you, Aaron? Just a quickie.
Let's do it.
Isn't it true that civilians are the ones that find the body parts? Yes, no.
Sure. In this case, Nancy, her family
That's
members
yeah,
have been
lightning
out
round.
searching. Yeah.
Lightning round.
Lisa, let me know if it's
Yes,
still
no.
freezing.
Okay. And isn't it also true that a civilian found the blanket, the pet tribute blanket that was Sade's near Sade, some of her remains? Civilians, yes, no.
Yes.
Aaron? Okay. And isn't it also true, Aaron Maben, that civilians are the ones that are out searching for Sade and any of her remaining body parts? Isn't that true?
That's right.
Okay. My point is, police are saying right now, we're only looking at Sade as a victim.
Thank you, Lisa.
Really? Okay. Let's move forward with what we know. We know that the police have the suspect's blood. They've got his DNA, obviously. We know that they have Sade's DNA. So, hence, I would argue that the blood found in the home, since they're not saying it's the defendant's and they're saying it's not Sade's, it's somebody else's. Is that logical to you, Aaron Maben?
Right. Who blood is in this house?
Nancy.
Okay. Going forward from there, Dr. Eric Eason joining me, board certified forensic pathologist, consultant, on Facebook, Eric August Eason. Dr. Eason, thank you for being with us.
Who blood is in this house, y'all?
Just in a nutshell, and I'll delve back into it before Aaron Maben gets called off to a scene. Dr. Eason, isn't it relatively easy for a medical examiner like yourself, who has performed literally thousands of autopsies, to determine whether or not a torso has been submerged in water or has it been out in the open in the elements?
That's actually tough to determine. You know, when I was listening to the comments from the other guest, I don't think you would be able to tell whether or not a torso would have been dropped into the water or simply dropped onto land. I think in either situation, it's going to appear the same. So I don't think you can tell.
Wait. Okay, hold on. I've dealt with a lot of medical examiners and a lot of homicide cases. So you're telling me a torso that has been underwater for several weeks would look the same as a torso that had been out in the air above ground for several weeks?
They would probably look a little bit different, yes. That is true. I would agree with that. Yeah.
They look a lot different. Anything
Yes.
submerged in water, anything looks different. When you get in the bathtub for 30 minutes, your hands prune up, for Pete's sake. A torso will look different if it's been underwater than if it's been out on the beach.
Definitely will.
I'm just
Kids
a
in the
JD. I'm
tub
not
all
an
day.
MD.
They
How would they
skin
look
turning
different?
white, fingers all crinkled up. Right.
See, the one in
Same
the
thing at
water,
the beach.
you're going to have
If
it was
Sade
mentioned earlier-
Robinson's mother catches you laughing, she's going to rip your throat out. Okay.
course.
Now
All
tell
right.
me how that
Okay.
torso looks different if it's been underwater.
They're going to be bloated for sure, because being under the water, the bacteria are going to multiply and release the gas, and that's going to actually bring the torso up to the surface. It's going to look different than if the torso is placed simply on the land.
Okay, y'all. So that was that one. But wait a minute, there's some more. Just a minute. Hold on, y'all. I want you guys to see her mom. Her mom's birthday just passed. Her mom just turned 43, and I'm 43, and her mom just wanted her daughter's remains back home. Like, that's all she wanted. My daughter home. Hold up. She just wanted her daughter home, y'all. Ain't no way you telling me that it's not gonna look different if it's been submerged in water for days. Like, they need to cut it out. Well, I know me as a colored person how my skin looks, so I'm just saying.
I need to lay my baby to rest. This is my wish on my birthday.
This is her mom's only wish on her birthday, y'all, is to lay her daughter to rest. I don't know what's going on.
I need the community to keep standing with us, and I appreciate all of the support.
I knew I should have restarted this computer before I started this live.
This is Sade's voice being heard.
Earlier tonight, the mother of Sade Robinson, Sheena Scarborough, commemorated her daughter after her tragic death by getting a new tattoo. Kaylee Starro talked with her about that and the ongoing search.
At Black Rabbit Tattoo Collective, Aisha Valentine is designing a birthday tattoo for Sheena Scarborough.
I spend every birthday with my daughters. We do small things, we do family things.
Sheena's daughter, Sade Robinson, was murdered earlier this month.
I knew my baby was an earth angel, but I didn't know that God was going to take her from me this soon.
Her angel's wings,
this one right here,
Oh, that's terrible.
Now a part of her forever.
The only thing I came to do was get my first tattoo of my baby.
A birthday tattoo and a plea to the entire community.
Right now, I need us to focus on finding the rest of my baby, please. That's all I'm praying for. That's all I want for my birthday wishes.
From the hum of a tattoo gun to the waves of the Milwaukee River. Family and friends were out doing just that on Saturday, searching for clues.
By Kern Park, we've had kayaks, wetsuits as well. Just trying to find anything.
I met with Kenny Johnson, who has been one of the people searching since Sade first went missing April 1st.
She hasn't laid the rest. It doesn't make sense why the family don't have answers.
After her body parts have been found across Milwaukee, family and friends are growing frustrated with the response from authorities.
The community has been the ones on the front line finding my daughter and figuring out the pieces of the puzzle. We've been doing the work.
Work that no mother should have to do.
I need us to focus on the piece of my daughter. We are still looking for her table. has not been found.
Body
As
part.
family and friends look for Sade,
and we won't stop.
the meaning behind Scarborough's first tattoo goes far beyond the skin.
Sade Carlina Robinson. She was the most beautiful spirit. She touched everyone's soul.
Reporting in Milwaukee, Kaylee Starrell, TMJ4 News.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. This is man, this is terrible on all levels. 19 years old, you're not thinking that when you go out on a date, this gonna be your last, man. Wow. Man. Wow, man. No, like, more to say. Like, oh my God. Is it this one? Let's see. We want. Wait a minute, they told us about him, but I want to see. Wait a minute. Like they said, they still trying to find all this girl remains. Trying to find all her remains, man. Okay, it's this where we'll get inside this murderer's head. It's like, what was he thinking? Well, I guess we'll never know that. It's terrible. Have y'all seen what the people have been like? I saw a video where a person was walking down the street and was eating a severed leg, y'all. Was eating a leg.
Now at the center of an investigation into a severed leg. 12 News Investigates is learning more about Maxwell Anderson, including what law enforcement sources.
What you said, Kuma boy, right. That's why it's crazy. That's why most of the time I'm waiting in the parking lot for 2 and 3 hours to dance practice. Like,
Tell us they found in his basement.
Anderson has not been charged. At the same time, 19-year-old Sade Robinson has been missing for 10 days.
Police, she was last seen April 1st with her burnt car later found near 30th and Lisbon.
This past weekend, investigators discovered human remains near 31st and Galena over 3 consecutive days.
This is the second place a body part was found in Milwaukee County in a week. That severed leg was found in Warnemont Park in Cudahy on April 2nd.
12 News' Hannah Hilliard is live outside Anderson's home near 39th in Oklahoma. And Hannah, you've been looking into his past all day long.
Yeah, Joyce and Patrick, and we have uncovered a lot, including Anderson's ties to Waukesha County and what sources are telling us investigators found inside this home exactly 1 week ago. This is the man behind bars, but not yet charged.
In the interest of Maxwell Stephen Anderson,
appearing in court in connection to a case that's captivated Milwaukee. Who is Maxwell Anderson? We know he's a Southside resident whose house at 39th in Oklahoma was searched by investigators 2 days after someone found a severed leg on the Lake Michigan shore in Cudahy. 12 News has confirmed the 33-year-old man has ties to Waukesha County, attending Kettle Moraine, Catholic Memorial, and Pewaukee high schools in the early 2000s. Anderson has a criminal record, a 2014 misdemeanor disorderly conduct conviction in Waukesha County after an incident with a family member in Delafield, and in 2015, a misdemeanor domestic violence case out of Door County. For the last few years, he's worked at several Milwaukee bars.
He works full-time,
including the Rave from 2018 to 2020, most recently working at Victor's nightclub on the east side. A woman who claims she met Anderson there spoke to 12 News by phone, but asked not to be identified out of fear for her safety.
Wow.
She says he once invited her to his Southside home.
I remember there being something about a hole in the yard, and this was back in fall. I remember asking about it, and it was like, oh, I'm building a garden.
In a view from News Chopper 12,
all right, that looks like a hole there, actually.
a gaping hole next to Anderson's house was visible earlier this week. Inside the home,
and when I got in, it just kind of seemed like he was in the middle of a whole bunch of renovations, but kind of seemed like the kind of guy that never would finish them.
Thursday, 12 News learned from multiple law enforcement sources Anderson had what is described as a sex dungeon in his basement.
What? And he was like, do you want to see the basement? And I was like, no, I'm okay. It's creepy down there. And I was like, no, that's okay.
Wow.
And Hannah, Anderson hasn't been charged, but is still being held after almost a week in jail.
Right, Joy. So the court did give prosecutors an additional 72 hours to either charge Anderson or release him. Those 72 hours run out tomorrow morning. We will, of course, be sure to stay on top of any developments and bring them to you as they happen on air and online.
Hannah Hilliard live in Milwaukee. And as we have been reporting, that 72-hour hold on Maxwell Anderson expires tomorrow. We asked legal expert Craig Mastantuono about what could happen next.
If he's released, that doesn't stop prosecutors and police from continuing to gather evidence and potentially charge Mr. Anderson at a later date. In other words, tomorrow's not a dismissal or move forward date. It's a move forward with a complaint or release the suspect.
He definitely don't need to be released. He definitely do not need to be released. Glad they got him on that $5 million bond, because that's crazy that they cannot find the rest of this girl body parts. And obviously he's not talking, because if he was talking, guess what? We would know where the rest of her body parts are. It seems like they don't know where her head is. This sounds terrible for me even saying this. Like, what? Man. Yo, this is terrible. Terrible on all levels. Do it show him in court? Let me try to find him in court. I love this lady's this channel's breakdown. Grizzly True Crimes. Shout out to Grizzly's True Crimes. I like the way her this is the way that I like to do stuff when I like edit videos. Yeah, this person probably should have called the police, especially how they were sounding. Like, yeah, they definitely should have. They definitely should have. Come on, video. Like I said, this channel is Grizzly's True Crime.
He was last seen on April 1st and reported missing that day. And then body parts were found around Milwaukee and later identified as hers. It's just an unimaginable case to have family members out there searching, like we've seen in many missing persons cases, right? Searching for a missing person, but in this case,
whose blood was inside his home if it don't match her blood?
I think her family has been so strong. So if there are any family members here, I hope that you feel safe here with us. Welcome to all my moderators, patrons, members, subscribers, any locals, anyone from Milwaukee. You know that her.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get into it.
Saw the original live stream. No, is Sade Robinson Quickly, just want to go through who she was. She was born on May 10th of 2004 in Vicksburg, Mississippi. She moved to Milwaukee with her mother before she turned 2. Her father lives in Florida. Her parents were never married, but they did their best to co-parent. She worked at Pizza Shuttle as a cashier on Milwaukee's east side. And there is another missing persons case. Like this person had never been found that also worked at Pizza Shuttle. Also in Milwaukee. I know we're all looking at, ooh.
Oh, wow. Another missing person case, y'all, that worked
wake up
there?
at 33 years old
Oh,
and start
wow.
murdering and dismembering people. It's just like, wait, what?
I didn't hear that.
Allegedly. Now, Maxwell Anderson was back in court today. So we're going to discuss the updates. We're also going to look briefly at his hearing. It was like a whole 4 minutes. I was watching it there on Zoom, and then I'm like, what? That's it? So we'll go over that as well. She worked a second job at Wisconsin Club at the Wisconsin Club, where she also helped her sister get a job. And she was 1 month away from graduating from the Milwaukee Area Technical College with an associate degree in criminal justice. Oh my goodness. You could share the hashtag justice for Sade, or just Sade Robinson if you want to. That really helps when you do like and share. So we went over all of this last time in the previous episode. Okay, so go check it out. Maxwell Anderson, I've now corrected my typo. I don't know why I wrote Maxwell Williams. It's like Maxwell Williams. No, Maxwell Anderson is his name.
Right,
33 years old. And oh my goodness, like I have many questions, right? We've gone over some of his criminal history, which is concerning. And I just wonder what else has he done? Because this is horrendous, right? So here's some short time. There's where the crime occurred. Police found blood in the bedroom and on the walls leading to the basement. Now, what I want to get to here, because we've gone over all of this before,
Copycat
is this new little timeline that I made here for you, just to quickly get all on the same page. So on April 1st, there were texts between Sade and Maxwell between 4:15 p.m. and 5:18 p.m. She actually went to work that morning, like 9 o'clock, normal day at work. And then she was meeting up with Maxwell Anderson for a first date. And she told someone who was in the building that she was really excited for this first date. At 5:09 p.m., Maxwell entered this Twisted Fisherman from the West. That's actually a place where he used to work. He went in there to fetch his W-2 forms, but when he was there, he also told former co-workers that he was there for a first date.
Wow.
So somebody had said that they work in the
can
section, they work in
corroborate.
payroll, and that normally all the W-2 forms are sent out
no.
at the end of January. So maybe it's a bit odd that he fetched it then. But then others commented it's not odd because the taxes would have to be in, now, mid-April, mid-April. And so he was going there to fetch his form. Welcome, the Blue. So at 5:09 p.m., he went there, odd place to then say, okay, meet me here where I used to work. And who knows what the circumstances are of him not working there anymore. Apparently, he got drunk on the job quite a lot. So he job hopped quite a bit. Then at 5:20 p.m., Sade entered the Twisted Fisherman from the East. This is all from the criminal complaint. We've already gone over the entire thing, which is why the previous live stream is a little long, but it's timestamped for you. So you can literally just skip to the parts that you want to see. And I would highly recommend listening to the criminal complaint to get all the details. So at 5:20 p.m., Sade enters Twisted Fisherman from the East. Both of them leave at 6:24 p.m. Both head east, so now they're going in her vehicle. And then at 7:04 p.m. to 9:06 p.m., they spend time at Duke's on Water.
Okay.
Then I'm showing you this as well because I don't know if you're anything like me. I want to know, well, how long were they at his house? And it's actually scary to think that it's not that long. Within 3 hours, this guy, Maxwell Anderson, allegedly murdered.
Sound like
more than allegedly.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Y'all know Jeffrey Dahmer get him over there and try to get him drunk, and and then next thing you know, he tying them up and cutting off their body parts. That is crazy. Oh my God. Or trying to this is making my body hurt.
Him put on camera, body parts found everywhere, like, oh my goodness, blood in his house. But from arriving at his house to leaving is within 3 hours? Oh my goodness. Welcome to Joe, Jack alone. So they left at 6:24, both at East. So from 7:04 to 9:06, they spent some time at Duke's on Water, just having a first date, having drinks, eating, and then from 9:06 p.m. to 9:28, they were traveling towards Maxwell's house. And then you see that from 9:28 p.m. to just before 1 a.m., they were at the house.
His house.
Right? So they say on the criminal complaint, at approximately 11:25 p.m., there is human movement in the backyard again. This movement continues on and off until approximately 12:45 a.m. But that says human movement. So it seems to me that from 9:28 to 11:25, those 2 hours or so is when everything happened.
Oh,
that is so hectic. So imagine someone meeting up with someone for a first date. Being
this
like,
is definitely not his fault.
Maybe he spiked a drink. How do we know? But like, took her back to his place and then murdered and dismembered her, and then got in her vehicle. and then scattered body parts everywhere. Like, what is this case? Oh my
Right,
goodness, it's
and
scary.
then rammed through
So
a
yeah, I
gate.
just wanted to bring you some bullet points for the timeline because it can
And
get a
then
little
set the
daunting.
car on
If
fire
you're
from the
mystery obsessed, thank you so
inside.
much. So on April 2nd, from just
Oh,
before,
wow.
so 12:48 a.m. to 1:38 a.m., the vehicle and phone travel away from Maxwell's residence. From 3:24 a.m. to 4:35 a.m., he was stationary at Wardiman Park. From
Oh,
4:35
wow,
a.m., that's when
y'all.
Sade's phone battery dies. At 7:32 a.m., Sade's vehicle was discovered. It was on fire. People saw a man light the vehicle on fire, and they're like, "What?" And they called the police. So already early in the morning, they went to the vehicle and discovered Sade's clothing in the trunk. And so at 8:43
Wow.
a.m.,
Oh,
Maxwell
my.
arrived back home. That was a very, very busy night he had. A terrible, horrifying, it sounds like Dahmer, you know,
Terrible.
2024 kind of night. Like, is this? And at 9 p.m. on that day, Sade was reported missing by her friend. Now that next day already, body parts were found. They found her right leg, which all these words sound so scary to say. Like, oh, they found a right leg on there at the bluff by Lake Michigan, and what? And then the police put two and two together and investigated and were able to confirm it was Sade's right leg. On April 3rd, police conducted a welfare check at Sade's apartment, and of course, no contact was made. On April 4th, they had a search warrant at Maxwell's house, and on April 6th, they said a foot and flesh was discovered near where the car was. Wow. Okay, then. Angela says, is there a video from the last bar? There probably is, but we haven't seen it yet. Now they're going to keep things probably close to the vest for the investigation. So that is what we know so far with the timeline. Okay. So I wanted to show you this as well. I don't know if you remember this from when we discussed when Brian Koberger was arrested. And he also, this is just a legal little visual for us, okay, who are not lawyers, which is quite nice. They said a preliminary status hearing and a preliminary hearing are two different hearings. So Maxwell Anderson was in court today for a preliminary hearing. Okay. And he waived it. So I think the next step would be to enter a plea. They've actually got a scheduling hearing set next for May 16th. Okay. So we're going to look at footage from that today, from his brief appearance in court. Okay. Oh no, like this guy. So I've got that. So we've gone over that little timeline. Now, what do I show you next? There's so many things to show you. I've got documents, I've got maps, I've got all sorts of clips and things that I also want to show you. I got email from one of Maxwell's friends.
Her torso was found. Her
very
leg
hard for friends
found
to be like,
at
what is
one
going on here,
part.
right? Okay, so let me first show you some clips.
That's right. In this pizza shuttle location above us
Hold on, let's
is
watch.
where Sade Robinson worked. In fact, it was a co-worker who first called to report her missing after she did not show up to work the day after she went on a date with Maxwell Anderson. Today, several people gathered here to show their support for Sade after they first gathered outside Maxwell Anderson's house again, where inside investigators returned for clues.
Say her name! What's her name?
A group of roughly 20 supporters continued to demonstrate for Sade Robinson Tuesday. The group consisted of a few family members and a few friends, but the majority were strangers who did not know Sade, but still wanted to honor her and support her family. They started at Maxwell Anderson's house Tuesday afternoon. That house looked much different from the night before, when there was an overwhelming display of support during Pink Out. They filled Anderson's yard and covered his home with balloons, posters, and messages supporting Sade. But at some point overnight, someone removed most of those decorations, so Sade's supporters returned Tuesday. Police tape and station officers kept them off the property this time, but they replaced many of the items on the sidewalk, trees, and the street itself. When the group started impacting traffic and causing backups, police cruisers blocked off each end of the block to prevent cars from driving past the house. Meanwhile, a flurry of activity was going on inside the house. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office confirmed investigators were back, quietly conducting a follow-up search. With little attention, they blocked off the rear alley and entered the home through the back entrance. They drew the blinds in Anderson's upstairs apartment and put up black plastic to block out the downstairs picture window. Still, many of Sade's supporters noticed the activity and went through the backyards to look. They shared these photos with us of Anderson's backyard. When rain started to fall in the early evening, they packed up and headed out to the pizza shuttle on Farwell, where Sade Robinson worked. Strong winds kept them from staying long, but they left a mark. More messages of support and pledges for justice.
Sure, the way they say her name, it's so powerful, Sade Robinson is her name. You could share the hashtag justice for Sade Robinson. Her mom was also recently on Nancy Grace. I'm going to show you a clip of that. It was just, I just feel so terrible.
Terrible, y'all, man.
Family and for Sade's friend. She was only 19 years old. She was 1 month away from graduating.
No brother, no auntie, no
almost her birthday. Oh my goodness, it's almost her mom's birthday too. They were ready to excited to celebrate their birthdays together soon.
Now, this evening, I asked the sheriff's office if they're specifically looking for more missing body parts or forensic evidence. A spokesperson declined to get into specifics, but did say that investigative team is looking for any and all evidence. Here in Milwaukee, Adam Knight, CBS 58 News.
Hey, Lovelace.
Okay, So this is the hearing from today now. This was Maxwell Anderson's
Okay, so this is the hearing.
latest court appearance. And so it was pretty uneventful, as these hearings would usually be. But at least, you know, wheels of justice are turning slowly, but they're turning. And the next time he'll be in court is May 16th for a scheduling hearing.
24 CF 1692, count 1, first degree intentional homicide, count 2, mutilating a corpse, count 3, arson of property other than building. This case is sent to Judge Craig, branch 45 of Kansas.
Ian Vance Curzan for the state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Anthony Cotton with Maxwell Anderson. He's here in person. Good afternoon.
That is Maxwell Anderson right there.
Commissioner, to start, I filed an amended criminal complaint. The purpose of that amended criminal complaint was to essentially include a footnote regarding the blood recovered in the residence. The footnote is on page 6, and it just indicates that the preliminary DNA analysis supports the conclusion that there is no support for inclusion of Robinson's DNA in the blood or swabs that have been tested, and then some of those.
So none of her blood is in his house, y'all.
Yeah,
Are y'all
you guys
hearing
are all
me?
saying, listen to the footnote. Someone was saying earlier as well, I have a question about the footnote. That is incredibly scary. If they're saying that some of the blood in the home did not match Sade's, this guy is, I think it's so terrifying. Once they actually
So who blood was in his house, y'all?
You know, him bully in many other cases, many other missing persons, because I think what they're going to uncover is a lot worse than we can imagine.
That because it was brought up at the initial appearance, so that's why I included that. Otherwise, I think there was just a couple Scrivener's errors that were corrected. The rest of the information remains unchanged, and there's no additional charges.
But I did have noted that an amended complaint was filed. Any objections to probable cause?
Not at this time.
All right, I have read the criminal complaint. It does state probable cause. Waive reading?
We do.
All right. I'm showing you a document that's called preliminary hearing, questionnaire, and waiver. Is that your signature near the bottom of this page?
That's right.
Did you read this document, or did your attorney read it to you, or both?
Both, Your Honor.
And did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that if you had a hearing, the state would have to produce witnesses and perhaps other evidence to show that you probably committed a felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you also understand that by waiving that hearing, you are conceding that the state can establish probable cause and you will be ordered to stand trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone make any threats to get you to give up your hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone make any promises to get you to give up your hearing?
No, Your Honor.
I will find that Mr. Anderson has made a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary waiver of his right to have a hearing and order him bound over for trial. I'm also in receipt of a request for substitution of judge against the Honorable Gene Kais. That is approved.
I filed a signed and dated information today. I sent a copy of that document to defense counsel prior to the hearing.
Acknowledge receipt, enter not guilty plea subject to our substitution request. Thank you.
This case will be reassigned to Judge Sander, branch 28.
They got a real close up of this guy. I wonder why. I don't know the answer. If anyone here is a lawyer and you know why they would substitute, they said request for substitution of judge received and filed. Court consented to substitution against Judge Kais.
Sorry, I had to take care of my mommy son. Yeah, Lovelace, the smaller ones, you know, have eaten or are eating the Janelle and Jalea. I said Janelle and Jalea. Janelle and Journey will eat when they get home from dance practice. I'm about to leave here in 5 minutes to get them, actually. And yeah, serial killer, like, for real. Like, this is scary. I know you is, I know you do. Like, if her blood is not in his house, then who blood? Answer that. Can I answer that? If her blood is not in his house, who blood in his house? Let me sit up straight. Whose? Is it human blood? Is it animal blood? Like, because if it's human blood, that's probably why they got him on that $5 million bond, because it's human blood, but it's just not her human blood. And if you heard the lady at the beginning of the interview, or not the interview, beginning of the reaction, she said that another person that worked where Sade worked is also missing. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to find out that person's name and see. Oh, y'all talking about the plate. Yeah, a $5 million bond. Yep. Good. Good for him. Good for him.
Parties advised the clerk of circuit court reassign the case pursuant to current court rules to Judge Sanders. Okay.
I'm there Thursday afternoon, the 16th. Okay, let's take that.
Next court date will be May 16th at 1:30 for a scheduling conference in Branch 28.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor. You too. Yeah.
May 16th, next court date.
So next
So
court, May
it's already in
16th,
the court calendar as
15
well.
days.
That will be a scheduling conference. So they've got probable cause, scheduling conference next. So
15
I'm assuming the case will go
days.
to trial. Also, Lily Blossom said, who else from Pizza Shuttle is missing? My grandson worked there and he hasn't heard anything about that. He worked with Sade and said that she was the nicest person. He's crushed over Sade. I'm so sorry, Lily Blossom. I will go over another missing persons case in this live stream. I just first want to show you all these clips and then we'll get to that. We've got lots to talk about.
Okay,
So
yeah, well,
hang
let
in
me
there with
make
us.
me smaller so we can see these clips. He's a scumbag, for real. Yes, this is her young life.
So this is
sad,
some
and
surveillance footage from Maxwell Anderson's home, and it would be Sade's vehicle leaving. I can't point at it now. You'll see it driving that way, okay, from left to right, and speculatively, at that point, I'm guessing from everything I know from the criminal complaint, Sade was already murdered, and he's driving away in a vehicle to go and scatter body parts. Oh, that's scary. So have a look here quickly.
oh wow, y'all, this is, oh my God, this is terrible.
Off he goes.
We begin with another.
Okay, so we still got about 11 minutes worth of clips that I do want to show you. The cats are in the office all saying hi. Joe Jackalone, love it. He's got his snarky pants on. He said, got his hair all done for this appearance. Yeah, he did.
Disturbing discovery in the murder of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Authorities confirmed they found an arm and her torso along the beach in South Milwaukee. It's about 4 miles south of Warnemont Park in Cudahy, where her leg was discovered. It is.
I'm just going to pause it there. We ran some extensive map time as well. But if you look there at the 3305 Mariner Road, that is now where an arm and torso were.
So they did find the leg first and then arm and torso next. And if I'm not mistaken, she has a tattoo on her stomach, on her torso, and that's how, or back here, and that's how they were able to definitely know that it was her.
Discovered. It's just unbelievable. Like, and volunteers, family members searching for body parts, finding these body parts. It's just unbelievable. An arm and a torso were located.
Now the fourth confirmed discovery of Sade's remains. Megan Lee has been at the beach all day talking with neighbors who feel like now this investigation has hit quite close to home.
You can still see footprints all over this remote beach that's along Lake Michigan here in South Milwaukee. Neighbors tell me investigators were out here for much of the morning on Thursday. This home security camera footage shows investigators by the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's van just up the hill from the beach.
It's yards from my front door.
Someone walking the remote beach around 7:30 this morning found a torso and an arm just yards away from Angela Buchanan's home.
I'm definitely on edge now.
Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office believes the body parts belong to 19-year-old Sade Robinson.
This is not something that anybody should have to go through, especially such a young girl.
Angela was just down on the beach the evening before walking her dog.
It just kind of makes me like scared now to kind of want to come down here with my dog, you know, and do what we do every day because am I going to come down here and be the next one that's going to find more body parts?
Angela's neighbor Gail, who didn't want to be on camera, says the beach is her escape. Is this disturbing to you?
The whole world is disturbing right now.
With tears in her eyes, Gail can't help but think about Sade's life that was cut too short.
Oh my God, my heart breaks for her. If I would have found those, I would have been devastated. I can't even imagine what their family feels like. My heart's gonna cry for this. I can't. It's gotta stop.
Something that won't stop is the search for Sade's body. Gail joined the family and friends along the shoreline Thursday afternoon. Investigators say they were taking a sonar boat out on the lake to look for more body parts on Friday. In South Milwaukee, Megan Lee, TMJ4 News. You can still see footprints all over this remote beach that's along Lake Michigan.
I think I put it in twice. Okay, stand by. Okay, so there was a vigil held
Sade Robinson.
Sade Robinson described by the people who loved her most.
Anybody who knew Sade knew that she was different from everybody else. She went through a lot even before she died, and she never let it go break her. She was the strongest person I know.
She was my best friend. I will miss her. We had so much happiness and fun together.
Between the tears and memories shared, a resounding plea.
Justice for Sade!
Justice for Sade! The bright, loving 19-year-old murdered just 1 month before she was supposed to graduate college.
We are tired.
Yes.
We are sick. Yes. This is not okay.
But this is very, very tough for me and my family. And it's going to be tremendously hard to move on living.
But they aren't doing it alone. Dozens from the community, many strangers, showed up to a vigil Friday to support Robinson's grieving family.
She brought us, care for her family brought us here. I think this is a terrible theft for the city. I think this man stole her. He had no right to do that.
An unimaginable loss and a story resonating with so many.
Emily joins us live now from Kilbourne Reservoir Park. Emily, people there say that they are determined to make sure no other family has to go through something like this.
Her friends and family say that they're working on starting a nonprofit called Sade's Voice to support the families of missing Black women and children.
Emily Pofall reporting in Milwaukee's River West neighborhood tonight.
Seconds ago, the Hone Bridge went pink in honor of Sade Robinson. Pink was her.
Isn't that so beautiful? Sure. I'm really glad that they're doing all of this for Sade as well. You know, this whole bridge is all lit up in pink. It just looks so beautiful.
Favorite color.
We're turning now to the homicide of Sade Robinson. People in our community, many who never knew that 19-year-old, continued to show up at memorials in her honor today. They tied pink ribbons around trees at Warnemont Park in Cudahy, where the first of Sade's remains were discovered nearly 2 weeks ago. Kaylee Starl talked with some of them earlier this evening.
I've seen people all afternoon come here to Warnemont Park, the same park where nearly 3 weeks ago, Sade Robinson's leg was recovered. They tell me they hope to turn this place of tragedy into awareness with these.
Like maybe looping them on the gate.
Barbara Jones spent hours cutting these pink ribbons in honor of Sade.
Really came out to not only memorialize the memory of Sade, but to bring some good spirits and beauty to a place that Anderson turned so ugly.
While talking with Barbara,
Hi.
More neighbors showed up to Warnemont Park with more pink.
Yeah, just start putting them wherever.
Pam, Cynthia, and Christine don't know each other or Sade.
And I didn't know Sade, but I feel like I do know her more. And it's sad that I didn't know her when she was alive.
Even in death, her life is bringing people in our community together.
Because more and more people that didn't even know Sade, they're seeing that the family hopefully is seeing that that everybody's supporting her.
From Pizza Shuttle, the place she worked, to Kilbourne Park, where dozens gathered for a vigil Friday, Sade's favorite color, pink, is bridging this community together.
Letting people see these random pink ribbons and pink all through the city. They'll know that it's in relation to a beautiful life lost too soon.
It's not
just a quick pause there. Wait.
Yeah, she was on the first date with
Your
him.
father has money. I'm sure you'll have the best attorney. So one of Maxwell Anderson's friends has emailed me. As you know, I protect all my sources, so I would never reveal names or anything like that. So I hope they feel safe if they are watching. And said that Maxwell actually has a very rocky relationship with his dad and has for a long time. He's never mentioned his mother to this friend. You know, and the friend was very close to him. The friend did not know about the sex dungeon. He's been in his basement many times. And he was actually, supposed to meet up with him soon to hang out for a weekend. And wow, now he's trying to process, wait, what? He did what? So the friend didn't see a sex dungeon. The friend didn't see that he was capable of this. Because, people like that, as we know, compartmentalize. I'm talking about the alleged killers, and, if he is a serial killer, if it turns out to be like that, they compartmentalize and they wear many masks, as we've seen. If you think of Jeffrey Dahmer, who I wrote a book on, if you haven't ever listened to my audiobook or got the book, you can check it out there. He compartmentalized and had a job and, continued with his life while doing the sickest things, right? Okay. Janet says G's got all the tea. I've got the tea. Okay. So I found that interesting that he has never spoken about his mother and apparently cannot stand his father's girlfriend. So there's some resentment there already.
Okay, love.
I think
what links him to her other than date is he's seen driving a car from his house after he done cut her up to scatter body parts. Here's the part. I'll rewind it for you and go back to where we were.
Okay, so this is some surveillance footage from Maxwell Anderson's home and it would be Sade's vehicle leaving. It's
Sade's vehicle
You'll see
leaving.
it driving that way, okay, from left to right, and speculatively at that point, I'm guessing from everything I know from the criminal complaint, Sade was already murdered, and he's driving away in a vehicle to go and scatter body parts. Oh, that's so scary. So have a look here quickly.
You don't have to read up more on it. That's what I'm for. Give you all the details you need.
We begin with another.
So we still got about 11 minutes worth of clips that I do want to show you. The cats are in the office all saying hi. Joe Jackalone, we love it when he's got his snarky pants on. He said, got his hair down for this appearance. Yeah, he.
Disturbing discovery in the murder of 19-year-old Sade
I wanted
Robinson.
you to see
Authorities
that
confirmed they
part.
found an arm and her torso along the beach in South Milwaukee. It's about 4 miles south of Warnham Park in Cudahy, where her leg was discovered.
I'm just going to pause it there. We've done extensive map time as well. But if you look there at the 3305 Mariner Road, that is now where an arm and building that she was really excited for this first date. At
This
5:09 p.m.,
part,
Maxwell
and then we're
entered
gonna go back
this
to where we
Twisted
were.
Fisherman from the west. That's actually a place where he used to work. He went in there to fetch his W-2 forms, but when he was there, he also told former co-workers that he was there for a first date. So somebody had said at work in the comment section that they work in payroll and that normally all the W-2 forms are sent out at the end of January. So maybe it's a bit odd that he fetched it then. But then others commented it's not odd because the taxes would have to be in, now, mid-April, mid to end April. And so he was going there to fetch his form. Welcome back the blue. So at 5:09 p.m. he went there, odd place to then say, okay, meet me there where I used to work. And who knows what the circumstances are of him not working there anymore. Apparently he got drunk on the job quite a lot. So he job hopped quite a bit. Then at 5:20 p.m. Sade entered the Twisted Fisherman from the east. This is all from the criminal complaint. We've already gone over the entire thing, which is why that previous live stream is a little long, but it's timestamped for you. So you can literally just skip to the parts that you want to see. And I would highly recommend listening to the criminal complaint to get all the details. So 5:20 p.m. Sade enters Twisted Fisherman from the east. Both of them leave at 6:24 p.m. and both head east. So now they're going in her vehicle. And then at 7:04 p.m. to 9:06 p.m., they spend time at Duke's on Water. Then I'm showing you this as well because I don't know if you're anything like me. I want to know, well, how long were they at his house? And it's actually scary to think that it's not that long. Within 3 hours, this guy, Maxwell Anderson, allegedly murdered. It's a lot more than allegedly, though. But, we have to say allegedly, but still, it's like, damn, there's a lot of evidence against him. Like him caught on camera, body parts found everywhere. Like, oh my goodness, blood in his house. But from arriving at his house to leaving is within 3 hours? Oh my goodness. Welcome to Joe Jackalone. So they left at 6:24, both at east. So from 7:04 to 9:06, they spent some time at Duke's on Water, just having a first date, having drinks, eating, and then from 9:06 p.m. to 9:28, they were traveling towards Maxwell's house. And then you see there from 9:28 p.m. to just before 1 a.m., they were at the house, right? So they say on the criminal complaint, at approximately 11:25 p.m., there is human movement in the backyard again. This movement continues on and off until approximately 12:45 a.m. But that says human movement. So it seems to me that from 9:28 to 11:25, those 2 hours or so is when everything happened. That is so hectic. So imagine someone meeting up with someone for a first date, being like,
did you see her at the house?
Took her back to his place and then murdered and dismembered her and then got in her vehicle and then scattered body parts everywhere. Like, what is this case? Oh my goodness, it's scary. So yeah,
You see him at her at the house, Lovelace?
D Mystery Obsessed, thank you so much.
And then this is the rest of the timeline where you see her cell phone and stuff pinging.
The vehicle and phone travel away from Maxwell's residence from 3:24 a.m. to 4:35 a.m. He was stationary at the Warnham Park. From 4:35 a.m., that's when Sade's phone battery dies. At 7:32 a.m., Sade's vehicle was discovered. It was on fire. People saw a man light the vehicle on fire, and they're like, what? They called the police. So already early in the morning, they went to the vehicle and discovered Sade's clothing in the trunk. And so at 8:43 a.m., Maxwell arrived back home. That was a very, very busy night he had. A terrible, horrifying, it sounds like Dahmer, 2024 kind of night. Like, what is this? At 9 p.m. on that day, Sade was reported missing by her friend. Now that next day already, body parts were found. They found her right leg, which all these words sound so scary to say. Like, oh, they found a right leg on the bluff by Lake Michigan, and what? And then the police put 2 and 2 together and investigated and were able to confirm it was Sade's right leg. April 3rd, police conducted a welfare check at Sade's apartment, and of course, no contact was made. On April 4th, they had a search warrant at Maxwell's house, And April 6th, they said a foot and flesh was discovered near where the car was. Wow. Okay then. Angela says, is there a video from the lost bar? There probably is, but we haven't seen it yet. You know, now they're going to keep things probably close to the vest for the investigation. So that is what we know so far with the timeline.
So see Lovelace with the timeline. She was at his home from 9:28 to 12:48. And at 11:40 something, they saw that she still had life, like there was human movement. They said at 11
And so at 8:43 a.m.
on 11
You know, we have to say allegedly, but still,
25, but until 12:45, she was no longer seen.
Get the bottom back.
Body parts found everywhere, like, oh my goodness, blood. And then meeting up with Sade was reported missing by her friend. Now that next day already, body parts were found. Right there.
And then as you can see right here from 12:48 to 1:38, the vehicle on her phone traveled away from his residence, 3:24 to 4:35. He's at the park, which that's where her leg was found, the severed leg. 4:35, her phone battery died. Her vehicle was discovered. How about that? Shallow playing with his daddy. Sade vehicle was discovered, but he set the vehicle on fire from the inside out, Lovelace. So I don't know if they were able to obtain any DNA evidence. And then she was reported missing by her friend. And Maxwell arrived back home at 8:43. Then she was reported by her friend at 9 p.m. when she didn't come to work. They conducted the welfare check April 3rd at her apartment. She wasn't there. Search warrant April 4th at his house. And then her foot and flesh was discovered on April the 6th.
We're turning now to the homicide of Sade Robinson. People in our community, many.
Pink bracelets bearing Sade's name, made by Angelica Valencia. Her fiance, tattoo artist Sam, gives them out to everyone who stops in.
When I saw the look on her face when I actually dropped off the beats for them, like it affected me some type of way.
A show of pink, symbolizing a community standing behind Sade and her family.
Until they get justice, I'm here.
In Milwaukee, Kaylee Starr, TMJ4 News.
Last night, family and friends met under the iconic Milwaukee Bridge, lit in the 19-year-old's favorite color. Just hours before that, a vigil was held in Kilbourne Reservoir Park, which is close to Robinson's home. The bright, loving young woman murdered just 1 month before she was supposed to graduate college.
My best friend, I will miss her. We had so much happiness and fun together.
This is Sade's grandmother.
That was Linda Scarborough, her grandmother. Her friends and family say they're working on starting a nonprofit called Sade's Voice to help support the families of missing Black women and children.
Sade. So this is a clip now from when Sade's mother was on Nancy Grace's show, and my heart broke for her. Oh my goodness.
This is beautiful, beautiful song. I knew that my kids were very special and different. My parents raised me, they raised us. We are light workers. We put out positive energy, we exert, we help others. I'm a community advocate as a personal way of my life, the way I live. I've worked for others, I help others my whole life. I've raised my daughters that way. My daughters have excelled. I have 2 daughters. This has caused so much emotional effect to my family, my parents who love my baby so much, her grandparents, her uncles, her aunties, the community. Everyone has pulled up. This has affected many people in Milwaukee. I'm coming here today. This is the hardest thing I would ever have to do in my life, to speak Sade's voice. Sade was a beautiful soul. She was an amazing girl. Nancy, everything you spoke is exactly what my daughter exerted. I couldn't have asked for any better daughter. There was things my daughter did that many adults were not even able to accomplish in their lifetimes. And I'll be 43 in a week. My birthday's on April 27th. Sade's birthday's on May the 10th. I had her on Mother's Day. The son of a... I'm going to watch my language on this platform. The son of a took my daughter A month before she's graduating with her Associate of Arts degree. She works so hard. She's a full-time student. She has 2 full-time jobs. She has her own little bachelorette apartment. She doesn't stay at a college dorm campus. She has her own bachelorette apartment. She has her own car. She pays all of her own bills. This is traumatizing, Nancy. I never expected this to pull up on my front door. This isn't normal. This is a 2024 Jeffrey Dahmer. I need him held accountable. I need justice for Sade. There has been a lot of many Black and brown girls that have been gone missing in Milwaukee for a moment, and all of them are going to be held accountable now because they put the wrong family. They mess with the wrong family because we're not going to sit quiet and we're not going to sit still. And we're going to call all of them out and we're going to speak for the whole community because I'm not about to sit down and
I believe
on this one. It's justice for Sade, Nancy. It's justice.
That's right in this.
So those are all the clips that I have to show you today. It's difficult, right? There's a full interview on Nancy. It was just a little clip that I wanted to show you there. So let me quickly pull this up here and show you.
Ain't no telling how many Black girls been coming up missing in Milwaukee, and they just looking at them like, oh, this just a runaway. Like, honey, we don't be running away.
What is going on here? Stop that.
That was gonna cause some runaway.
I'm gonna read here. Okay, the
Was
father
there
of Maxwell
problems
Anderson,
at
who has
home?
been charged with killing and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson, released a statement Thursday morning expressing sympathy to her family. On behalf of myself and my family, I would like to express our deepest sympathy and heartfelt condolences to the family and loved ones of Sade Robinson. We are shocked and devastated by her senseless death, Stephen Anderson wrote in a statement released by the attorney firm representing Maxwell Anderson. To Sade's mother and father, words cannot express our sorrow for the incomprehensible pain and grief that you are going through. We join the entire community in celebrating Sade's life. Stephen Anderson ended the statement by requesting the media respect his family's privacy. So he released that statement. Then I went here to this missing persons page for Wisconsin, and I filtered it for Milwaukee just to see. I mean, one could look further than Milwaukee, and it's just so sad to see all the missing people, you know, like this. So there's a few here. You know, if you look at more recent years, Jeff Lone said on Court TV this morning, if they look back 10 to 15 years, because of course Maxwell Anderson is 33 years old now. We're gonna look what he was up to in the last 10 to 15 years, and we already know of some of these horrible criminal records and things like that.
Wow.
So I just had a look here, and there's actually neat. I think it's this article here. Yes. Okay. Here's where they go.
Loveless, there was a video of him leaving her car that was set on fire and him getting on the bus right there where the car was set on fire at.
Over the past few weeks, Milwaukee has been rocked by the disturbing and unfolding case of the murder of Sade Robinson, a 19-year-old Milwaukee woman. On April 2nd, Robinson was reported missing by a friend after she didn't show up to work or return phone calls. Maxwell Anderson, 33, was later charged with the first-degree murder of Robinson and the dismemberment of her body. Oh, man. Anderson and Robinson met for a first date on April 1st separately. A 41-year-old woman named Tomitka Stewart, who was reported critically missing, was dead in Milwaukee. Stewart was found dead on April 17th in the 4,000 or 4,500.
They think about Jeffrey Dahmer, I guess, was a gay man, or I don't know. I don't really know what he was, but you know, he targeted gay men. However, this guy is targeting young Black African American girls.
They were found, returned home, or because the record was invalid. Since January of 2020, 4,814 women ages 18 to 99 have been reported missing to law enforcement and entered into the nationwide database, according to the Wisconsin Department of Justice. So this is a picture of Ayanna Patterson, or they say Ayanna Patterson displays a picture of her daughter Alexis Patterson on the 20th anniversary of her disappearance on Tuesday, May 3rd of 2022. Okay, yes, that was when it was at the High Mount Community School. Families of missing women of color face additional barriers. There has long been a discussion of the difficulties surrounding missing people of color. In 2022, Black women and girls made up approximately 18% of all missing persons cases, despite accounting for about 7% of the population, according to data from NCIC and U.S. Census Bureau. Indigenous women face higher rates of abduction and murder than the national average. Many people feel the cases of missing Indigenous women are overlooked and others go unreported in the data. While 98% of children reported missing to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are located within days, the majority of those who are not, the majority of those who are not.
Wow, do y'all see those numbers that she's reading?
From the racial makeup of media and law enforcement agencies to Black children being disproportionately classified by authorities as runaways, police, the media, and the public are less likely and equipped to give their best efforts for missing Black children. So we're going to get to these other cases that I'm hoping they're looking into as well. They said while social media can help find missing children, USA Today found that in 375 videos featured on Facebook by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the average views on posts about missing white girls was more than 63,000. For black girls, it was 38,300. This lack of media attention compared to the urgency with which people seem to search for missing white people has been termed missing white woman syndrome. USA Today cited the example of the 2002 cases Alexis Patterson, a 7-year-old from Milwaukee, and Elizabeth Smart, a 14-year-old from Utah, sorry about the ads, who went missing from a month apart. Hours after Smart, whose white went missing, her case received widespread national media attention. Patterson is black and her case received very little national attention, especially at first. So here they say the women and girls who've been reported missing in Milwaukee since 2020, the Wisconsin Department of Justice maintains a list of missing child and adult residents. As of April 18th of 2024, 170 people are on the list, including some who have been missing for as many as 8 decades. My goodness. These women and girls were reported missing from Milwaukee County.
This is 170.
Noted that this list may be incomplete. These are the only persons who've been reported missing to the database, but other missing people may have not been reported. Ayana, I don't know, I don't want to say this name wrong. Krizanovsky. Ayana, a Milwaukee teenager, has been since March 29th of 2023. According to a missing person flyer, she was last seen March 23rd of 2023, and her family is concerned for her safety. She has black hair and brown eyes and is approximately 5'4" and 130 pounds. Anyone with information should contact the Milwaukee Police Department.
Oh, wow.
Looking into these and looking at DNA evidence, perhaps found in, the home of Maxwell Anderson while they're at it, because you just don't know if you can maybe solve some other cases, as horrifying as it would be. Like Janiyah Walker apparently worked at the same pizza shuttle. That's where Lily Blossom, you were asking earlier, who else from Pizza Shuttle's missing? Janiyah Walker. That is from Reddit that people are saying that she worked at the same pizza shuttle where Sade worked.
Okay, I'm going to look up Janiyah Walker. Janiyah Walker. Somebody put that in the chat so I can remember.
Avenue and North Buffum Street in Milwaukee, carrying a large book bag and wearing a green t-shirt and blue jeans. She has black hair with long braids and brown eyes. The day that she went missing, Walker was supposed to be picked up from her house at about 4 p.m. by her father. Her mother was at work, and the two exchanged text messages in the afternoon. Phone records show that Walker tried to call her therapist around 3:27 p.m. and later that night sent her therapist a text indicating that she had run away from home. Walker's mother said her daughter has a history of mental illness and likes reading, baking, and animals. Walker's mother was frustrated that Milwaukee police did not classify her daughter as critical missing. The criteria for critical missing include a person with a history of physical, mental, or cognitive disability, drug dependency, or other at-risk issue, among other factors. Current age, 16, missing since 06/23/2022. Last known location.
Wow,
race
16.
Black, linked to missing person flyers there. I'll put this and the Milwaukee missing persons links in the description box for you. Wow. So then they say Sandra Eckert, then 70, was last seen in her home in Franklin on the evening of March 26th of 2021 after she left her residence following an argument with her husband, Wes Eckert. Approximately 5'7", 130 pounds with blonde hair and green eyes, last seen wearing black leggings, colorful tennis shoes, and a large navy blue and teal North Carolina Tar Heels starter jacket. Shame, 73 years old. Missing. Eckert's car was seen on March 27th, 2021 at 3 a.m. traveling southbound on Racine Avenue, westbound on Tans Drive, and then southbound on Crowbar Drive. For the car, a gray 2005 Dodge Stratus sedan had been found. Wow. Some people just missing persons cases, they just bother me so much. Like, where are these people? What happened? Oh my goodness. So in the summer of 2021, the Franklin Police Department began treating Eckert's case as a homicide. Eckert's family is offering a $50,000 reward if a tip leads to conviction. Her children told the Journal Sentinel that they believe that their father, Wes, might be to blame. Wes didn't have anything to do with his wife's disappearance and suggested it could be related to several $1,000s in cash that Eckert took with her when she left. Anyone with information should contact the Franklin Police Department, 414-425-2522. Current age 73, missing since 03/26/2021. So I'm going to link this all for you, including this here. What to do if you're searching for a missing person in Milwaukee. They recommend you file a missing person report as soon as possible. You can go to your nearest police district with a recent photo of the missing person. If you can't go to a police district, you can call 911 so an officer can take the report. Families can notify the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 800-THE-LOST, which is 1-800-35678, or online at missingkids.com. You can also register to use the National Missing and Unidentified Person System at namus.gov. Whoa, okay, so this we've already had a look at now. Did I say that right? We looked at this now. Homicide suspect Maxwell Anderson to make first court appearance since discovery of new body parts. So we saw that. We watched it together. If you only joined now, I hope you'll go back and watch it. I'll make sure to timestamp everything for you. So in the pinned comments, it'll always be the top comment where I put the timestamps in, which are chapters for the video, so that you can easily just watch, especially these replays that get a little bit longer. I know not everyone has time to watch a 2-hour live stream. I don't even, when I see a 2-hour live stream, I don't want to watch it either. But if it's timestamped, I'll probably watch it because then I can skip to the parts that I really want to see, right? So I hope that saves you some time as well. And you can watch on 1.5 speed. So he was expected to be in court today, which he was, for a hearing that will determine if there's enough probable cause in the case against him to proceed to trial. Okay, so we've gone over all of that. They said emotional vigil as family and friends tearfully remember Sade Robinson, and they said sonar boat finds no new evidence. So they have been using a sonar boat. I think it's this one that they show. So they said search for the rest of Sade Robinson's remains in Lake Michigan continued on Friday, April 19th. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office called in a volunteer group from Black River Falls that specializes in recovery operations. It's still in a haystack, said Keith Cormican, director of Bruce's Legacy. Just trying to figure out what we can see in there, and if there's anything in there. That's the big thing with this case. Not 100% sure where the rest of this stuff's at. Oh my goodness. Keith Cormican, another volunteer with Bruce's Legacy and a sheriff department, spent hours aboard a boat offshore from Warniment Park. They first used a towable sonar. I was really hoping it was going to be a lot sandier, Cormican added, but the rocky shallows didn't give them a clear picture. They later returned to a remote vehicle, searching by camera, and we can see a live video on the boat. We've seen searches like that before, right? Like in Kylie Rodney's case. Nothing was found today. It's tough searching in the rocks like that. When we're looking for small items, it can be extremely difficult. Prosecutors say Maxwell Anderson killed Sade Robinson. Her severed leg was found in the area on April 2nd. And then a torso and arm believed to be Robinson were found on Thursday, April 18th, washed up along a remote portion of beach in South Milwaukee. The group, Bruce's Legacy, is named after Bruce Cormican, a firefighter who died after a water rescue years ago. His brother Keith runs a search and rescue organization in his brother's memory. After several hours, the group packed up and pulled out. This case is just horrible. I can't even imagine family having to deal with what they've had to deal with, Cormican added. We tend to drive harder to help them to find everything they need. The worst part is not being able to find what we're looking for. But he says they'll be ready to come back, and if and when they get the call. The vigil for Sade Robinson was scheduled on Friday night, April 19th, so that happened. We saw some footage of that, and they're asking everyone to continue to wear pink for Sade, especially in the area, right? So if you live in Milwaukee and you want to show support for Sade Robinson and family, wear pink, right? Kish says, thank you, Mods, for deleting absurd comments. Yes, thank you, Mods. We've got the best Mods. Thank you so much for everything you do. So I wanted to show you this, where they said Janiyah Walker missing. And this on Reddit says, Janiyah Walker has been missing for 2 years. She worked at the same pizza shuttle as Sade Robinson. So that's my source. I'm not sure. I always take what's on Reddit with a grain of salt, but wow. If true, they say, she worked at the same pizza shuttle Sade, and she was also last seen between Brown and Buffum. Somebody out here taking these girls, and we don't have a clue who it could be. That is scary, right? Let's just see this one quickly. Oh, we already looked at the bridge that was all lit up, which is very beautiful as well. And there you go. I think I've shown you everything. If you want, I can quickly show you one more round here of map time. Okay, just you can quickly see here in case you missed it the first time. So starting off at Pizza Shuttle. Let me make myself smaller for a second. Hold on. Okay. Pizza Shuttle is where Sade worked, and she worked on April 1st that day there. And then her apartment is along this Milwaukee River. So I'm just quickly showing you again. We've gone over it in the very first live stream, so go check that out. Then she met up with Maxwell Anderson at Twisted Fisherman. We went over the bullet point timeline earlier in this live stream. And after that, they spent about 2 hours at Duke's on Water. Then from there, headed to his house. That's his house, around there. And within 3 hours and 19 minutes, her vehicle was seen leaving his house. So from there, it went north to the 435 North Gordon.
I mean, he didn't waste no time. He done premeditated things.
I'll zoom out again after this. Then to this North Humboldt Boulevard and East Keith Avenue. And further north, and then suddenly going south. And this is where body parts were found. I saw that Crime Spies on X, you had posted a screenshot of a map. So I don't know if it was your map or not, but I like that they put they made these icons a different color. So pink for where body parts were found. My goodness, all along the Warniment Park, they say the area her leg was found. My goodness, so scary. And just by dog walkers. Wow. That is the area where he had actually driven in here and rammed into the gate. You saw that gate that was all earlier in some of the clips from the media out there. And then he was seen on camera from the high school, going kind of up and down here. He was there for quite some time. So going from there, that's the Cudahy, did I say it right? Wait, Cudahy High School, where the camera spotted some activity from the defendant, Maxwell Anderson. Sade's vehicle was then found on fire in this area. And then they also found body parts very close to where the vehicle was found. A foot and flesh is what they said. What? And then
they found the foot and flesh right by where her car was burning. Here, the car was burnt from the inside out.
The bus driver to stop at an unofficial stop.
Which means that's where all the DNA was in. He was driving the car. His DNA definitely is in there.
So if I zoom out from all of this just to show you the whole area, there we go. Then you can see all of that, which is quite something, isn't it? To meet up at Twisted Fisherman.
I'm already on the way back home now, look.
Mostly here and around where the vehicle was found. Not so much here yet. Not so much here yet. And then the arm and torso found down here. So that's quite far down, actually. Oh my goodness. So they actually have to search quite a large area along the water here. Never mind that there was also around here. So who knows where else he's scattered body parts and what else he's done to other people, right? Onyx says, you're so good about pronunciation, I'd be a wreck. So careful, Gisela, that's awesome. I'm sure if you guys were here from the beginning, which I think you were, Onyx, you know, I was always like getting really upset with the pronunciation police, but I know people are just trying to help, you know, and I do want to say it right. That's the thing. I'm always trying my best to pronounce everything as best I possibly can. So, okay, wait. Let's not make myself too big now. Damn. So that's what we have for today. I will let you know when there's any more updates again. As you can see, I wait a little bit. I'm not just going to go live every little update, of course. I wait just a little bit to see, well, what else is next. We know May 16th, Maxwell Anderson will be back in court. I really hope. Crownfire says, yes, my map. I saw your little pink dots. I like that. Okay, so I put the little pink icons there as well. So that's my map. But what I did was I changed the icon colors to pink. You got your map. I got my map. We love map time. Perennial said, Robinson family, we have your back. Absolutely. So May 16th, Maxwell Anderson will be back in court. Really hope that they are able to find all of Sade Robinson's remains, which just doesn't that just sound like every time I say it, I'm like, am I really saying these words out loud? Like, hoping her family is able to find all of her body parts. Like, what is this? I can't even. I mean, a missing loved one is already terrible enough. And then a missing and murdered loved one, horrendous. Missing, murdered, dismembered, and having to find body parts. I can't even imagine. I don't know how they're coping, man. I send them so much love and strength, support, courage. I wish I could give them a hug all the way from Switzerland. You know, this is just absolutely unthinkable. It really is the stuff of nightmares. It's a case that keeps me up at night and just makes me think, like, what else has this guy done? Like, who is this person? This little bun in court just being all chill, just like, yes, I understand, and just, whoa, like, oh my goodness. Okay, so thank you so much. I really appreciate you all being here. Please like and share. Let's hope that the police are looking into those other missing persons cases, especially now that they have the search warrant for the home and we're able to search it. They can test DNA. And with that footnote they shared in the hearing today saying that it wasn't some of it was not a positive match to Sade's. So let's hope they can solve some other cases while they're at it as well. Katja, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Web Weaver, thank you for sharing pink hearts for Sade.
Okay, y'all. So that was the end of that video. Yep, Lovelace. Now you see why they got him in custody, because he's definitely guilty. Yeah, definitely guilty. He said, I'll be moving. Yep, you heard that. Shiloh and Jaleel stayed here with Daddy. And, he told me, you better run on before he want to go. And so, I ran on and got them from practice.
Yes, like you say, I wonder if he tried to hide the blood and they had to bring out the special light that could see blood. Oh, definitely. I mean, him burning the car inside out, he definitely was trying to hide something. Yes, this is so interesting. Yep. Shout out to teamwork, what you said. I know you're gonna need to meditate. I already know. I woke up to worship your spirit. It means when chicken is chewy. Chicken is chewy. Babe, when chicken is chewy, what does it mean? When chicken is chewy, do it mean it need to be cooked longer or what? Or it's been cooked too long? I don't know. Who had chewy chicken?
That's nasty. Why would you bring it up if no one had it? That's nasty.
These kids in here talking to me, y'all.
What? I don't even know what you said.
Let's see.
Jenny, come do this with me. Bro, this is so fun. I don't think I'm gonna have enough gems to do K. I think I'm gonna run. See which one's gonna like the cake, man. I just can't wait for this to be done. It's gonna look so cute. How you gonna tell me? Not gonna tell me.
Hold up, it's trying to play the wrong video.
Earlier this month, we brought you a grisly case from Milwaukee that did stay a mystery for very long, or so we thought. It began with a human leg. It was cut off at the hip. It was pink toenail polish. Earlier this month, we brought you a grisly case from Milwaukee that, or so we thought. It began with a human leg. It was cut off at the hip. It was pink toenail polish on the toes. The leg was found in a lakefront park, and it wasn't long before other body parts started turning up in various other locations. And then it was determined that they all belonged to a 19-year-old woman named Sade Robinson. And even while those grim discoveries were happening, police had a suspect, this guy, the tall, blonde, 33-year-old bartender named Maxwell Anderson. He and Sade, it turns out, had gone on a date the night before Sade failed to show up for work, and hours before her clothes were found in her burned-out car. Investigators said phone records, surveillance video, forensics all tied Maxwell Anderson, and so they charged him with it. Homicide and mutilation of a corpse. On Monday, though, he pleaded not guilty. And now comes a weird footnote in a new court filing
Navan's business travel platform? It completely ruined my life. You see, I've been in the great policy force for over 30 years. Let me tell you, I've seen it all.
I don't like how this is showing, y'all. I'm trying to fix it. That's why I keep on restarting it.
Johnny, let me see the picture.
Navan's business travel platform? It completely ruined my life. You see, I've been in the great policy force for over 30.
Earlier this month, we brought you a grisly case from Milwaukee that didn't stay a mystery for very long, or so we thought. It began with a human leg. It was cut off at the hip. It was pink toenail polish on the toes. The leg was found in a lakefront park, and it wasn't long before other body parts started turning up in various other locations. And then police determined that they all belonged to a 19-year-old woman named Sade Robinson. And even while those discoveries were happening, police had a suspect. This guy, the tall, blonde, 33-year-old bartender named Maxwell Anderson. He and turns out had gone on a date the night before Sade failed to show up for work, and hours before her clothes were found in her burned-out car. Investigators said phone records, surveillance video, forensics all tied Maxwell Anderson to the crime, and so they charged him with it: homicide and mutilation of a corpse. On Monday, though, he pleaded not guilty. And now comes a weird footnote in a new court filing that says preliminary DNA tests on the blood police found in Maxwell Anderson's home do not, I repeat, do not show a match with Sade Robinson. So does that undercut the accusations that Anderson killed Sade Robinson? Or does it add to the speculation that Anderson may have killed other victims we don't know about? Steve Spingola he's got some insights on all of this. He's a retired Milwaukee police detective and investigator on the Oxygen Channel program Cold Case. He also worked extensively.
He definitely has killed more, and they need to look at a lot of them missing persons.
It's great to have you back, Steve. Thank you. Were you
in Milwaukee
surprised when these tests came back in the blood that was found in the suspect's home, and it wasn't Sade's blood?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back. And no, not really. They haven't said whose blood it is. It could be his blood. I don't think this lends that there's any other victims here. There are witness accounts. There is physical evidence. They have him tracked from about 5:30 on April 1st, where they were eating all the way to the bus shortly after torching Sade's car on 29th and Elizabeth.
All the blood that they said was lined up, blood all up and down the walls, all up in. It's his blood. Okay. The guy that cut up Sade Robinson, 19-year-old.
He's the suspect, and he'll.
Yep, her leg was found in one part, her arm and her foot and flesh was found somewhere, and then her torso was found somewhere else. Don't ask me no more questions if y'all not.
I have no doubt at all that he's the individual involved. That blood, it can't be explained right now. I'm sure the Milwaukee Police Department and the crime lab is trying to analyze it and look at other victims, but it hasn't been explained right now, and let's give law enforcement some time to work on that case.
Agreed, but I wonder if they're also now opening up the books on all the other missing women and wondering if maybe they can get a match there. Do you think that's also happening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every time there's a missing and you wind up with a Dahmer, Bundy, something like that, law enforcement looks at it. There may be investigations from out of state. I don't know exactly how Mr. Anderson traveled around, where he worked, who he came in contact with, but rest assured, a lot of people are looking at him. And, we'll see what comes up, but he is just too disorganized of a guy. And I have said that, and I've talked to other people about it. He is impulsive. This crime is like a roadmap. It leads right back to him. I'd be extremely surprised if there's anybody else that he harmed or killed along the way here.
Okay, and then this last question, I always wonder, is there any possibility that maybe the DNA test was just wrong? We hear of all sorts of lab mix-ups and problems. Is it just possible that it is her blood and the test was just a mix-up?
I doubt it. Those are serologists. Those are people with degrees. They do this for a living. So I would certainly hope that that's not the case here. I don't believe it's the case.
Just because they have degrees, I mean, they can't make mistakes. Come on now. I got degrees and I can make mistakes.
They can investigate this for months up until the time the trial starts. And I still think there's going to be more evidence that links him to her. The forensic evidence in his house has to be there.
Segal, you are a wealth of information. I'm not only going to call you again on this case, I'm going to call you on some other ones too. Given the fact you worked on Dahmer, I think you know a thing or two. Thank you.
You would think it'll be more stories about her, but it's not. Like, I mean, it's not a lot of people. Yeah. What?
Are they still talking?
Yeah, I was on mute. No, I wasn't froze.
Up, so to speak. We have unidentified blood, Aaron Maben, and not just blood. For instance, if I go to your home and I see a few spots of blood around your bathroom sink, I'll think, oh, he got his face shaving. This is blood on bedding going up the wall from the basement, and we know that the basement, now uncovered, was a sex dungeon. And blood
He Lovelace, all this blood. How is his blood?
in the normal course of one's routine. So with all of this happening, I can't help but wonder, are there more victims? Since that blood does not match Sade, and we have reason to believe it doesn't match the defendant, the suspect. But back to the torso. Tell me everything.
Well, you know, this all began with a severed leg at a park in Cudahy, and it just sparked so much mystery. And that's what this case has been, Nancy. A ton of mystery. Where are these body parts, first off, coming from? And then we later learned that it is Sade Robinson, who's been a missing girl. And then just these series of events continue to pile up. The latest was that arm and torso that washed up on shore. Someone was walking along the beach, Nancy, and they found this arm and torso. Now let's go back to that severed leg, because these places where they were found
That means separately.
close to each other. They're a few miles away, about a 10-minute drive from each other. And police were quickly able to identify this arm and torso were that of Sade Robinson's. I want to talk about where it was found. It's
Hold on. Aaron Maben, we're showing right now an aerial of the area. Guys, you're hearing Aaron Maben from Fox 6 speaking. So a 10-minute drive between, now we've got 4 different series of body parts. So you're saying a 10-minute drive from what to what?
From where that first severed leg was found on April 2nd. And now you're looking at other parts of the city of Milwaukee. This is the north side of Milwaukee, another direction, Nancy. And then a few days later is when that arm and torso were found. That's what you're looking at right here. This is a very wooded area, a beachy area with tons of gravel. And people walk along the shore. It's super pretty. So people definitely were not expecting to find body parts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure
Do
something
y'all
out.
hear
When you say
this?
rocky, do you
Like
mean
he
as
wanted these body
specific
parts to be
close,
found.
rocky, or do you mean a cliff? You look down on rocks, rocky.
Yeah,
It's
more
walkable. It's
more
walkable.
gravel instead of sand and beach in that area. Think of walking on rocks, not necessarily a cliff. That's going to be more that Cudahy area, that Warnemont Park area, where the severed leg was found. That was more cliff-like. This is less cliff-like.
So, question: does it appear, Erin Mabin, Fox 6 Milwaukee, that her remains washed ashore, or they were discarded there?
Well, we know that people found it as they were walking along the beach, and it was washed ashore. Milwaukee police and the sheriff's office have not really released, those details on where they were discarded, how they got there. But the current with Lake Michigan is so fascinating. You drop something somewhere, and then it can end up miles away too, just by the way that the water moves there.
In addition to Fox 6's Erin Mabin, joining me is an expert in exactly that, Keith Cormican.
You mean the other days, like when the body parts were found? Well, see, that other timeline was going based off Sade's phone. Her phone died at 4. Well, no, because they have him. Well, they have him driving, leaving in her car. They have him going to the park. Her phone dies. They have him seen near where the car was, where a person's car was found on fire. At this time, they didn't know it was Sade's car. He was saw on a bus, like leaving the area where the car was set on fire. He made it back home at like 8:30 something, and then at 9 p.m. her friend called. He made it back home at like 8:30 something a.m. And then her friend called 9 p.m. to report her missing. They did a welfare check at her home. She wasn't there. They got a search warrant for his house based off all the information they had gathered, and then they arrested him, held him for over a week, and now he's on a $5 million bond. So I don't know if they, pinged his cell phone, to the 2 different parks where the other body parts were found. We'll have to wait on that as he goes to court. His next court date is May 16th. So we'll keep up on it.
An underwater search and recovery expert, director of Bruce's Legacy, searching for Sade in bodies of water. Keith, thank you for taking time out to be with us tonight. Keith, explain your understanding of the discovery of Sade. This last discovery, it's very hard for me to look at her and her photos in life. Now that I feel like I've gotten to know her, a girl making all A's in college, a girl holding down multiple jobs, paying for her own car, her own apartment, really had a plan for her life, just this joyful person. And now I'm talking about the 4th set of body parts discovered. But Keith Cormican, underwater search recovery expert, this part of her body, the torso, is found along a rocky beach area. And I'm trying to determine, do you think it's like Lacey and Connor Peterson after the husband's...
Lovelace, yes, her phone was in the trunk. Her phone was found in the trunk of the burning car. Yes.
Scott Peterson murdered Lacey after a period of time. Her remains washed up on San Francisco Bay, or was Sade dumped in this location?
Nancy, I honestly don't think that she was dumped in this location based on the information that I have. I think the probability.
I'm sure they attached him more than just surveillance cameras that was set on fire. I mean, he was seen driving her car from his house and in all the locations where her body parts was found. I mean, is it just a coincidence that he left in her car? First of all, why is he in her car? That's the first thing. Why is he put up at the park where her leg was found? And then seen on surveillance near where the car was found burning, and it's burning from the inside out because obviously he don't want his DNA to be found. And then he's on a city bus headed back home. And based off the text messages, I mean, they know they were together. So unless she unalived herself and he was just witness to it, then yeah, I don't know.
Is that torso was probably dumped in the area where the leg was at Watermont Park, because a torso is the part of our body that will tend to build gas and rise to the surface, and then once it rises to the surface, then it's all dependent on wind and waves where it's going to go. And
Got it.
it's located about 4 miles south.
I'm looking
of
at
the
these
park
pictures
of
and
where
I'm
the
just
leg was
imagining her
thrown
body
away.
parts washing
And
up
that's not out of the
in
question
these
to have
areas,
that
y'all.
part
This is terrible.
go in that direction the way the winds have been lately. So it's my personal belief that I think it's most likely that was put in the area of the Watermark Park, and it came up during that time and ended
Wait
up
a minute,
down
wait a
4
minute, wait a
miles
minute,
down.
wait. That is very vague. Keith Cormican, you're an expert at underwater search and recovery, but let me work on your phraseology just for a moment. I'm trying to determine, like the other three sets of body parts, was this torso placed on Earth at that beach, or was that torso thrown into water? And I have a very specific reason for asking. Water, Earth, which one?
I'm not sure where possible. I mean, from what I understand, it looked like it washed up on the beach at that.
Okay, so all I needed to
location
hear,
is what I
washed up, that means water. And I'm sorry to rush you. I have 1 hour to get through the developments in Sade's case. Why am I in a rush? Because there's a very strong possibility that there are other victims. And you know where I'm going with this, Aaron Mabin? If you don't know a horse, look at his track record. Has he put other victims, specifically, who was that grave dug for in his backyard? Whose blood is that on his wall? Who else had been in that sex torture chamber that he had in his basement? So if he put part of Sade in the water, ergo, has he put other victims in the water? See where I'm going with this?
Well, Nancy, I want to go back to what police are sharing because I want to stick to what we know. And there's so much that we are still working to get. But we know that right now, police are just searching for Sade Robinson in connection to Maxwell Anderson. But we did learn in a preliminary hearing just a few days ago that blood that was found inside Maxwell Anderson's home, they swabbed bedding, they swabbed a wall in the basement. We know that that blood was not Sade Robinson's DNA. I don't want to go too far talking about, what else it could be, but we do know that it's not Sade Robinson's blood. And that was a development that came in that preliminary hearing too. But police are only telling us right now, Nancy, that they are looking at Maxwell Anderson and Sade Robinson together. They're not putting any other speculation out there, any other rumors out there either.
Can I just do a lightning round with you, Aaron? Just a quickie.
Let's do it.
Isn't it true that civilians are the ones that find the body parts? Yes, no.
Sure. In this case, Nancy, her family
That's a
members.
yes, lightning round.
Searching. Yeah.
Lightning round. Lightning. It's yes, no. Okay. And
So again, law enforcement not finding the body parts, but civilians finding the body parts. Like, where do law enforcement? Well, what's the park police? Well, maybe these little neighborhood parks that have no park police, but wow, this has to be traumatizing, especially if kids found these body parts.
a civilian found the blanket, the pet tribute blanket that was
Yes.
Sade's near Sade, some of her remains. Civilians, yes, no.
Yes.
Aaron? Okay. And isn't it also true, Aaron Mabin, that civilians are the ones that are out searching for Sade and any of her remaining body parts? Isn't that true?
That's right.
Okay.
So why law enforcement or no other
I'm
volunteer?
looking at Sade as a victim.
See, this is what I mean.
Okay, let's move forward with what we know. We know that the police have the suspect's blood. They've got his DNA, obviously. We know that they have Sade's DNA. So, hence, I would argue that the blood found in the home, since they're not saying it's the defendant's and they're saying it's not Sade's, it's somebody else's. Is that logical to you, Aaron Mabin?
Sure. Yeah, Nancy.
Okay. Going forward from there, Dr. Eric Eason joining me, board certified forensic pathologist, consultant, on Facebook, Eric August Eason. Dr. Eason, thank you for being with us. Just in a nutshell, and I'll delve back into it before Aaron Mabin gets called off to a scene. Dr. Eason, isn't it relatively easy for a medical examiner like yourself, who has performed literally thousands of autopsies, to determine whether or not a torso has been submerged in water or
bring the torso up?
that is how a dismemberment is more.
I remember when she already had asked that on the other short video that I did, and he was just basically like trying to act like he didn't know that your body gonna look different based off how long you've been in the water. Now I don't know how other nationalities skin look when they in the water. I don't know, or when they've been in the water for hours. But I know as a black woman, when we're in the tub for hours in the water, our skin turn white, it get all old and wrinkly looking. Like, so was her torso, yeah, gets like looking like a prune, like my daughter said. So was her body pruny? Did it look like it had basically just been placed there? Like, what did it look like? Yeah.
Take a listen to this.
In Maxwell Anderson's home, police discovered gas cans in the garage and blood in several areas, including on bedding and the wall of a stairwell leading to the basement. After initial DNA test, an amended probable cause affidavit reveals that the blood is not a match to Sade Robinson. Authorities have not made any indication of who the blood belongs to, possibly another victim or Anderson himself.
Behind bars right now, the son of a multimillionaire Milwaukee businessman who was a part-time bartender at the time. This guy, has he had any meaningful interrogations with police? Where is the rest of Sade's body? And in light of a backyard grave already dug, mystery blood throughout his home, a sex dungeon found in the basement, it leaves one to speculate, are there more victims? With me, an all-star panel, but now to special guest, Dr. Jory Crossan, psychologist, former law enforcement faculty, St. Leo University. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. Explain a sex sling, restraints, handcuffs, and this was all kept secret.
I can see your point, Love Lace. Like, yeah, it ain't like law enforcement just, is walking on the beach and all this. So, I get why, okay, a regular person. I was just saying this has to be traumatizing for, at least I guess law enforcement is supposed to be trained, but like who's actually trained to see dead bodies and body parts and all that. But, a kid, this is terrible.
Windows, according to an acquaintance of the suspect, darkened, were boarded over, were covered so no one can look out or in. This was kept away and, for lack of a better word, basement lair. Explain.
Yeah, that would be a behavioral trove of information for anybody that could really properly understand it. First off, with the sex offenders, they want isolation, they want privacy, that gives them time. Also, the biggest thing, and when looking at behavior, is that they're going to build a fantasy from it. That's how they're going to remember this. So what they do and what they can use to trigger that fantasy is going to be very important evidentiary. That's why a lot of them will take what police identify as trophies, like an identification card, driver's license, some clothing, some personal items, so they can relive that fantasy that they've created. Now, the restraints that they're using or that they can use in these, like what's found here, that comes down to that power and control.
That's why I'm trying to get that other lady to go down to the basement.
The site of the dismemberment would be. If it's not in the house, then it's going to be somewhere else. And again, that is not so much a sexual behavior,
right? You're right.
Behavior that now they've got to deal with getting rid of this evidence. That would also lead me to believe that this is not his first homicide. There seems to be a pattern there. The blood at the site, it may prove to be of other victims that were possibly injured or dismembered there at the house.
Dr. Jory Crossan, you mentioned power and control, and having dealt and investigated several dismemberment cases, the ultimate power and control over your victim is not only killing them, but a step beyond that and dismembering their body, putting their body in various locations, hiding them. It's just another assault on your victim and the memory of the victim.
That's true. The dismemberment in this I look at as evidentiary because he's got to get rid of it. Some killers like Ted Bundy, he put his bodies intact someplace where he could come back, like the necrophilia, and visit with body in its entirety. This behavior is different where, like I say, it becomes getting rid of the evidence. He's still going to have things there to fantasize and recall the event, but this now becomes, removing the evidence and any connection to it.
Joining us right now, crimeonline.com investigative reporter Sydney Sumner. Sydney, thank you for being with us. I noticed in the amended affidavit, police, the probable cause affidavit, police very carefully amended the prior information to state that blood found in the suspect's home is not a match to Sade Robinson, the teen girl, whose body parts still being discovered by volunteers. We know police have the suspect's DNA.
Right, volunteers looking for her body parts.
Get a DNA, like a field test done at times of war. What can you tell me about the location of blood found in the suspect's home, Sydney?
Absolutely, Nancy. That blood was found on a comforter. We're not sure exactly where that bedding was found, maybe Anderson's bedroom. And there was also blood on a wall of a stairwell leading to Anderson's basement. And neither of those patches are matches to Sade Robinson. Unclear who they belong to. Maybe we're talking about another victim.
Eric Faddis joining me, high-profile lawyer and legal analyst. We know that, for instance, a DNA sample like a field test, you can get a yes-no answer in 5 to 10 minutes, as was done from years and years and years at times of war when you have to identify remains. If you want more information, it can take hours. If you want information, a DNA result that you want to take to a jury, then that can take weeks. That said, Eric Faddis, if they have the defendant's blood, then they should know and be able to isolate the blood found in his home and tell us whether it's his blood or the victim's blood.
My bad, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. But yeah, I'm hoping they find like what he used to sever her body parts. Like I hope, like right, I hope they do that too.
If you want information, a DNA result that you want to take to a jury, then take weeks. That said, Eric Faddis, if they have the defendant's blood, then they should know and be able to isolate the blood found in his home and tell us whether it's his blood or the victim's blood. I'm very concerned that there are more victims. And now we have a sex dungeon rearing its ugly head in his basement.
Yeah, Nancy, I think the community shares your concern about possible extra victims. And when we look at this blood sample, they have the defendant's blood. It would be relatively easy to get at least a preliminary determination as to whether the blood in his house matched him. And if it did, they should tell the public that. And so I must infer from that the police department is at least has a concern that there are other victims of this defendant, and hopefully they're.
Yeah, I know, Lovelace. They do be distracting, with laws.
I've
But I
prayed for
mean,
others. I hope others my whole life. I've
she
raised my
still
daughters
is
that way.
body parts
My
is
daughters
still
have
being
excelled. I
found
have two
of people.
daughters. This has caused so much emotional effect to my family. My parents who love my baby so much. Her grandparents, her uncles, her aunties, the community. Everyone has pulled up. This has affected many people in Milwaukee.
Guys, over the weekend, it was Sade's mom, Sheena Scarborough's birthday, and she says, and I quote, "That's all I want for my birthday." Sade's mom pleading for help finding the rest of her daughter's remains. Can you imagine that? That's what you want for your birthday? The rest of your daughter's body parts? This as a suspect sitting in jail with 3 hots and a cot, refusing to tell police all the places he allegedly scattered Sade's remains, a first date murder and dismemberment. And she had been so excited for this first date. A group of about 20 people in the last 48 hours were in the Milwaukee River with wetsuits and boats as they continue the search for Sade Robinson. And joining me right now, Keith Cormican,
That's
underwater
crazy,
search and
y'all.
rescue recovery expert, searching for Sade in bodies of water. Keith Cormican, tell me about the search of the Milwaukee River.
I know it's a very shallow, very rocky river, so it's going to be very difficult to search and be best all by diving.
20 people out on Saturday with wetsuits and boats. Why do you say it is or is not too shallow for diving?
It would be the best case scenario is to put divers in to search that area.
Mr. Cormican, tell me about your search for Sade.
Sure. So I searched along the shoreline of the park that the leg was found. We searched the shallow area out to about 10 feet, 150 feet off of shore. This area is found to be very rocky, from anywhere from 6 to 2 foot round boulders.
Out kind of
before their
in the double murder trial for the slave, his wife and son, or what we see it doing in the Brian Koberger quadruple slay out in Idaho. Tell me about the digital data in this case, Sydney.
Nancy, in this case, the cell phone data starts with Robinson's text messages with Maxwell Anderson before their date Monday evening. So they texted around 5 p.m. to decide where to eat that night, and they arrived at Twisted Fisherman around 6:30. Excuse me, they arrived at 5 p.m. and they left around 6:30. This all indicated by Robinson's cell phone. From the Twisted Fisherman, the couple traveled to Duke's on Water, and this was also evidenced by Robinson's cell phone. They stayed there until about 9 p.m. and Robinson sent a Snapchat to her friend from Duke's that she turned in when she reported Robinson missing the next morning. From Duke's, they traveled to Anderson's home, and her phone was there until about 12:45 a.m. It pings near Pleasant Valley Park, then pings at Warnemont Park, where its phone battery dies at 4:35 a.m. That was her last known location. Robinson's family also had Life 360 groups. They were also able to track her using that app, aside from her pings, and they have been out searching those areas, evidenced by that Milwaukee River search over the weekend.
Eric Faddis joining us, trial lawyer. Eric, is it true, Eric, that he waived his preliminary hearing, and what does that mean to you legally?
That's my understanding, and it's a bit of a head scratcher on that one, because usually a defendant will waive their preliminary hearing in exchange for some either plea offer or some promise of future negotiations. Because if there's no plea offer on the table and the defendant's going to trial anyway, usually they say, hey, prosecution, you got to prove the probable cause at the preliminary hearing. You're not giving me anything to waive in exchange for this, so you'll prove it. The fact that he waived it is a bit of a head scratcher. I don't know any communications that have taken place between the prosecution and defense.
We love like that's him on the bus right
Eric
there.
Faddis, there may have been other reasons that the lawyers waived a preliminary hearing. They may not have wanted him back in court for more pictures, for more publicity, because the impression he's giving in court is not a good one. You know, the state has enough PC probable cause to move forward. So why put it on parade in open court.
Yeah, Nancy, that's a solid point. The community is already beginning to have an impression of this defendant, and perhaps defense did not want to further worsen that impression that everyone already has of their client by going to a probable cause hearing and airing out all of these egregious, horrendous alleged facts against Maxwell Anderson here. So perhaps that was the strategy of waiving the preliminary hearing.
As this case inches toward trial, we stop to remember an American hero, Sergeant Alec Langan, just 23 years old. Alec Langan dies in a helicopter crash with 4 other Marines, Feb 6, 2024. Awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and 2 Sea Service Deployment ribbons. He leaves
No, Lovelace, they didn't travel to her home. They went to his home. They never went to Yeah, I know. I just was piecing, like, just giving you the details as far as like where they've tracked his steps. I know it's not illegal for him to be on the bus. I'm just giving you the details of them tracking him. Yeah, no, not her home. The police went to her home to do a welfare check when the friend reported her missing. That's the only time anyone went to her home. Yeah. I don't know if any mediums have done any readings on her. Let's see.
What happened?
It's crazy because you would think it'd be some you would think it'd be some medium readings, but I don't see any.
For someone like me, it would have been instant, you know, but again, we're too young for him. I just ready. You ready too. I asked you earlier if he was cool. He said yeah, so let's do it. And led me to your case early this morning. All right, so I believe that this person that she was it's very freshly dating, I feel, just talking to, was a liar. Okay. And that's evident, yes. But I want to say something, Sade, and forgive me, please. Um, not only do I feel you were way too young for this guy, okay, but when we're talking about being unequally yoked, that's not even the word, okay? This is kind of like your complete opposites, and it's for a reason. You have a very glowing kindred spirit, and he's a very dark, sadistic, evil spirit. And these things just don't collide, okay? Um, I do feel you were too young for him. I do feel you were too good for him. And this was already kind of a disaster, if you will, okay, in the making. I do believe he took advantage of the fact that you were only 19 years old. Okay. We are going into some predatory vibes. And no, it's not that you were underage or illegal or anything like that. It's the fact that men just know. All right. He knew what he was doing. He knew that you were very impressionable. Okay. And you're just a sweet girl. That's what I get. You were a sweet girl who just always wanted to see the best in people. Unfortunately, Sade, there's some really evil, dark people out here that don't have the best in them. Okay. And I think there were signs, but you were just too young to really notice. You know what I mean? And that's okay. We've all been 19 before. You know what I'm talking about. And for someone like me, it would have been instant, you know, but again, you were a child. You're only 19 years old. And that's the silver lining, you know, you were taken advantage of by this predator. Talk about other worlds. I cannot spend all night explaining why there are so many differences between you two. And it's not that opposites don't attract us. Sometimes it's even cute. But in this situation, no, because we're dealing with a good spirit and a bad spirit, and that's just never acceptable or cute. Okay. And I feel that's the two different worlds that you guys come from. All right. Those two things cannot mesh. They cannot mesh together. All right.
Yeah, for bad spirit and
This
a
was
good
unforthcoming.
spirit.
This is deliberate. This is oh God, I'm getting his energy. Hold on a minute. We try not to always pull the racist card. We try on Crime TV. We really do. We really do. But I'm gonna have to pull it. I talked to the spirit Sade. They let me know, yes, this has something to do with it. That he was evil, that he was racist, that it was about the color of both of y'all skins being different. Okay. This is how he views things. This is an evil person who sees
Oh wow,
who
y'all.
judges
Y'all
people, who
hearing
has the
this?
nerve to judge people the way he was looking. Y'all, I'm not trying to be funny.
Oh
All right,
wow.
I'm not. Very judgmental and cruel to others. But I think he needs to take a good look in the mirror. Okay. Now I feel that you were hurt. Yes, Sade, talk about him. I feel you were hurt. And I want to go into that a little later. But this is who we're dealing with, this narcissistic psychopath. It's all right to change the scenery, Sade. I know you're here. And the sociopath card, yes, this is him. Very evil, sadistic, dark person. I even get emo vibes. You know, he's into rock and roll, and which is nothing wrong with it. I love rock. Y'all go to rock concerts. I love 80s rock, okay? Has nothing to do with it. But he is a person who likes heavy metal. He's dark, he's into dark themes.
Interesting to me as well.
All right, look. Yes, this is his kind of makeup, okay? Talk about opposites attracting here, Sade. What's going on? It's a lot of secrets. You're so open. You're so open. People kind of would make fun of you going on a date with this guy, but you were just so open minded. And you're like, I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna see what he's about, regardless of what you're talking about. He looks weird. He's different. You thought, oh, I'll do something taboo. I'll actually go out this guy and see what he's talking about. Right. I know we all do with Sade. But unfortunately, you were just too young to understand why people were like, he just gives me a weird vibe. He's weird. And you thought people were being harsh and judgmental, especially because of his race. But what they were really trying to tell you is, no, there's something off about this guy. And we feel that you're just too good for him. Okay. Now, this person definitely has a lot of dark energies and dark forces around him. Okay. I'm going to stress these words again: evil, sadistic, racist. How much darker do you want to get? A sex deviant, a person who doesn't want to follow rules, a person who's very disrespectful, a person who does not honor people, let alone female authority or women. Okay, I want to go with psychopath. I do. He does have these traits very strong. He can do the evilest stuff, y'all, and just go about his day like nothing ever happened. And he should have been locked up a long time ago. And this is where we want him to be. When I heard it was Wisconsin, I'm like, oh yeah, this is about to get crazy. Okay. And I just knew then it was going to go down a very dark road. Well, that's the truth, y'all. Okay. Now I feel this person
So her
having money
opinions,
problems. I think he
all
brought
of
up some
the
story to you,
you
Sade,
know, I
that he
know
was
she's in the
having
spirit
this great
world,
life and he had
whatever,
himself
but
together, and that he could support himself and you, and that he had this nice home going through all these different upgrades. Okay. But when you got there, he was like, now wait a minute, this ain't adding up. But I feel you were trapped in that home. Okay. So many red flags, and so many red flags that I know at 19 you just did not see. I know. But you still, I don't know, you love to see the best of people. You still have faith in this person, despite the flags just waving and waving and waving. The whole date, I feel, was a failure. Okay. And you thought maybe this would be a new love affair for you. But this person does not know how to love. They don't have love within them. They're sadistic. They're not thinking about love. They're thinking about what they can get out, the pleasures they can get out of whatever the situation is or the person. I'm going to tell you another thing too, y'all. And don't you even try to shoot the messenger here. But I feel that this man, he could get away with this crime because Sade was Black. Okay. And he also felt he could get away with this crime because he was scattering evidence all over the place and her body parts where he felt like people would never find them. But let me tell you something, Sade, we care. Okay. And we're tired of people having these scenarios that because of a person's skin or culture, you can do whatever to them and nobody's going to care. Because there are people out here who do care. All right. And we're not going to let him just walk away because spiritually tonight, I'm going to make sure he doesn't. All right. And he did this out of some growth situation. Again, he got something out of this, some sexual gratification. Now, the spirits also tell me something I hope I could say why he did what he did. All right. Ladies, alert. Sade was only 19 years old. Let me tell you right now, you cannot go to no man's home on the first date or when you just meeting him or learning him. You can't do this. Okay. It's not your fault, Sade. You were very young. He knew that because he was 33, so he knew better. He knew exactly what he was doing, what he was up to. Okay. What I'm trying to do is teach, okay, that these are things that young females especially need to quit doing. Because these types of men, and it's not all men, because there are good men out there, right, Sade? There are. But these types of men, these
my
sadistic
son has
type
been
men, or
mature
people with these traits.
know his age, but we do know that they like to say, young, you haven't been through enough, you haven't experienced enough, but you'll be surprised what some of these teens have been through. So we can't, just say that they haven't been through nothing or they don't have that mindset, to discern, okay, something don't feel right here. This ain't right. Let me get out of this situation. I definitely think some do.
Traits, okay? They don't have good intentions in mind, huh? They don't. And I did get that he was aroused. You guys had been out drinking. You were a very cute girl, cute laugh. I mean, he got aroused, okay? And he thought in his sadistic mind, when you went back to his house, oh, she's with this, okay? It's like men, they take signals. These types of men especially, they feel like, oh, she's signaling, this is how they think. But that wasn't your intentions at all. And he had talked you into going back to his home. Maybe you guys had a little to drink, all right? He would act like your interest was in his heart, All right. But he had other things in mind, didn't he? All right. Now, you wanted to get out of there at some because you felt like something was off. When you got into his, let's say in the wild, his lair, okay, his trap, things started to change. His demeanor started to change. He became very aggressive and loud. And you're like, whoa, what is this? As any woman would be like, what is this? Okay. And I feel like you were trying to get out of there. I feel like you were. But I think he picked up.
And so he didn't get to get that other girl down to that dungeon. You know, maybe he got Sade down there, and that's where it happened. I don't know.
I feel this man is into some really weird stuff. Rituals, sadistic things, cult type of things,
What?
violence.
Cult like things?
Why am I getting the word masochism? What is that? What is that? I gotta look up that word, y'all. I don't even have my other phone. I don't even know. I'll just put it here. Bondage. It's just dark things. It's weird. Yeah, he came off like he could help you, he could save you, he could take care of you, he could pull you out your situation, he could do this, he could do that because he's older, he knows how to take care of a woman. Okay, tell me what he says, Spirit. That he has himself together, he has this nice home. Why don't you come to my home, check out my house? You know, it's going through some fixing uppings or whatever you call it, but you know, it's nice. I can provide a home for you. I could take care of you. But this man couldn't take care of himself. Corruption. Tell me. I know it's in there, Sade. Tell me what this man's a part of, okay? And he knew he had a short amount of time to do it. It's that night. He got to do what he got to do, get rid of it, get rid of evidence. That's really what it was about, getting rid of evidence. Why he put most of your parts in water. He never thought they would find. He never did. He never thought. You had people praying, didn't you, Sade? And now your spirit wants war with him. Don't give up. Because this is your story. Oh, I was telling the spirits, I said, I wish he'd never went off with him and had a date with him.
No, I'm just listening to the information, taking it in.
There was other people telling you that.
The reason that I listen to this information and take it in is because I like to compare it to what law enforcement has found and what evidence has been found. To kind of link to see if, you know, if they were onto something. I do feel that God gave certain people, you know, certain, you know, things to maybe see, but I just like to take it in so I can compare it with like what happened or, you know, what was found. Like, I just like to take it in.
But you still wanted to stay in communication with him. He had a good mouthpiece, so he knew how to talk. He convinced you that even though he was different, he was a good guy. You could trust him. That's what he made you feel like. That's what he was telling you. You could trust me. I'm a good guy. I wouldn't hurt you. But he was a traitor. And he feels he got a victory from this. You know what's crazy about life? Yes, I know, Sade. You know what's crazy about life is, well, I think it's crazy, is that a person will pretend like they like you and hate everything about you. Mm-hmm. You know I'm talking right, Sade. You think this man thinks you're attractive because of the cultural difference. This exotic is different. But in the back of his mind, y'all, he is some backdoor racist. You wouldn't think of this in a million years. You just wouldn't. Because I feel like he never like gave you any signs that he was or he thought like this until later that night. Okay. Drugs. I mean, you know, y'all been drinking. I don't know if y'all, okay, let's be honest now, Sade, because we on Crime TV. I feel you went back there maybe to have some more drinks and party a little bit. All right. And we've all done it at 19. So let's not act like, you know, our feet have never stunk. Let's not do that. Okay. That's not what we do at Crime TV. We keep it real now, y'all. We have went back to somebody's house when we were young, where we were not in this situation, but could have been in this situation. It works. And we caught ourselves having a little nightcap or going to have a few extra drinks or a little smoky, you know. Now, the spirits that let me know that he said come back and party. Now, he did say that. All right? He did. And we're just going to keep it real tonight, all right? But when you got in there, you felt all alone. Like, what am I going to do? Because this man has done flipped his lid. There's something definitely wrong with the guy, okay? Something definitely off. Also, you know, it speaks of the difference, this card DNA of two different races coming together. Investigation done to find your body. They're still looking for your other parts, sweetheart. The investigation is still going on. And I feel like this person had been watching you or stalking you. I don't know if you're aware of that. This is a predator, okay? Asking questions about you, your situation, if you're single, if you're seeing somebody, what's your story? Oh, yeah. The police are doing their investigation right now. Now, this was intentions, y'all. Let's just be 100 here. To get you back to that house. He really, I mean, I'm sorry, Sade, to say it, he really felt because you were a minority, nobody would care whatever happened to you. I think he watches way too many crime shows or reads too many crime books to think this way. All right, let's I'm going to tell y'all what I think too. I think he was in the start or the makings of becoming a serial killer. He's just very messy and sloppy.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop that right there. Like I said, I don't want to spin any narratives. I just wanted to get, you know, just to see what other people were, and that's the only person that I've seen doing like a medium, a tarot card reading on her. Nobody else is doing it like the people that I was watching that did it on Sebastian and Riley and Summer Walker and all the other people. I haven't seen anyone do it on her, so I saw that person. So I'm going to finish watching it on my own time, and then as the investigation goes on, I'm going to give y'all information from it. But yeah, I'm going to get on up out of here so I can get my bath and get in the bed and get these big ones in the bed, which they're doing on their own. They just got finished eating. So they're gonna get in the bed. I'm gonna get up off of here. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Hit the like button, share, catch the replay if you missed it, and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts about the case. What do you think? Do you think he did it? Do you think he's been set up? Do you think they're trying to distract us from something? Like, tell me your thoughts. And y'all have a good night. Happy Winning Wednesday.
Mama, who I do it for, sipping on this double cup while smoking in my studio. Girl, don't pull up on me lest I say it, you a goofy hoe. Tryna sweet talk a nigga, she want it, I ain't moving though. No offense to bitches, if she basic, gotta tell her no. She say I'm different from other niggas, oh I didn't. We talk only business, yeah. Skip the intermission, yeah. Now you know you tripping, yeah. Ain't a hoe I'm missing. It can rain, hell, snow, I'm always dripping. Cut up on back roads, the tires slipping. Nigga, I like both the semis with me. Crazy you didn't know our backs was different, yeah. Cooping any weather. Niggas wanna act funny cause I'm better. Name any bitch, I didn't sweat her. Back different, money stuck together. She gon' lick me like I'm a letter. She gon' lick me cause I'm a letter. Tried to kiss me when I just met her. This shit too clean, Italian leather. bring out the best in her. One round I'm testing her. Face down arresting her. Don't shoot the messenger. Cut off, don't mess with her. Foreign drop, caress it, her. Play her part inside of this movie, I'm just directing her. Yeah, you know, we talk only business. Yeah, skip the intermission. Yeah, now you know you tripping. Yeah, ain't a hoe I'm missing. It can rain, hell, snow, I'm always dripping. Cut up on back roads, the tires slipping. Nigga, I like both the semis with me. Crazy you didn't know our backs was different. Hit her once one data, different exotic strands, mixing flavors. I do my dance while I'm dropping bangers. You said I changed, yeah, so did the paper. Hold on, I'm snapping now, I gotta say this. Wall like the shit like a go like the greatest. Up in the mall and we copping the latest. She like my smell, you know, muddy the fragrance. Told her what happened, stay private like Vegas. Forget all they names, remember they face though. If it ain't USD, I'm getting pesos. Don't gotta rush it, I know how to play slow. Fuck with my bitch cause she do what I say so. Got the same plug cause nigga my race low. No nigga trying me, smoking that premium. High on that 93, you got a problem then solve it, come try it please. Like I'm a bull, get her rough when she riding me. Get what she want when she want, but not lie to me. Feel my heart frozen inside of me. Damage is done, it's too late, no rewinding me. You can't be me cause it's only one kind of me. I'm in the vert and the top is behind me. I got a couple niggas who is sliding. Don't gotta ask, I know my niggas riding. We on that timing. White on the package, light up that Irish cream that you're smacking. It's never what it seems, I ain't lacking. High niggas selling weed, no protection. All of that woman needs, I done mastered. Take you a little peek, I ain't average. Money like it's on trees, I'm a bastard. New coupe is Japanese and it's faster. Bitch, we talk only business. Yeah, skip the intermission. Yeah, now you know you tripping. Yeah, ain't a hoe I'm missing. It can rain, hell, snow, I'm always dripping. Cut up on back roads, the tires slipping. Nigga, I like both the semis with me. Crazy you didn't know our backs was different. Yeah, we talk only business. Yeah, skip the intermission. Yeah, now you know you tripping. Yeah, ain't a hoe I'm missing. It can rain, hell, snow, I'm always dripping. Cut up on back roads, the tires slipping. Nigga, I like both the semis with me. Crazy you didn't know our backs was different. Yeah.